That clock keeps ticking like a metronome, and my thoughts keep telling me to get me home, but my balls keep telling me to let me just let me That clock keeps ticking like a metronome, and my thoughts keep telling me to get me home, but my balls keep telling me to let me just let me That clock keeps ticking like a metronome, and my thoughts keep telling me to get me home, but my balls keep telling me to let me Fuck all that shit, just let me go.
Alright, I'm already up. YouTube broadcast. And all the known language. I'm telling you, drop from white. Okay, today we're going over the Illuminati. Oh, by the way, Jeannie behind the glass. Thank you, Jeannie. Thank you.
Yep.
Jeannie about to take a...
Better not forget.
Yeah, Jeannie about to take a hiatus. Walt's going to be moving in. If he can. I don't know. He's got to, like, take his mommy up today. And, okay, here's... The day has come, but it'll be at least an hour from now. You can call in and do your Chud debates, all right? I'm going to give you the rules now, and I'll give you the rules when we start. Because that's probably what most people want to tune into anyway, but I got to get some other content out besides Chud. Here's the deal. You will be allowed to pick one topic. That's it. One topic. So you can't like flip from topic. So like, example, the Turkey Tom, blowback, something I said. If it's something I said or something accuse me of, have a timestamp. Just have a timestamp ready. So you got a whole fucking hour to get ready. Whole hour. And I'll play it right on there. So get a timestamp from one of Minor Chud videos and that's it. The one question I will not answer because I've essentially answered it with, I don't trust this guy. I will not answer why you won't call the Chud. I've given it why I won't talk to him. I've answered that 20,000 times. You can pick a topic. You can pick one of the reasons I give not to do it. That's fine, but that's it. One topic, that's it. If you're a prick to me, I'm just going to hang up. If you're respectful to me, I will give you the same respect. If you're there to troll, be funny, get the laugh in, but you also get hung up on. Today I got something on Blair, and I actually got a clip of this something that happened. I can give you some stuff that happened behind the scenes here years ago, and what kind of got her.
Got the ball.
Yeah, kind of got the ball. The first super sign of insanity happened, and me and Vault found the moment. What led her to get rid of the GT, get to the point stuff, right? But there's a lot of stuff here I didn't know, especially at the end. I cannot wait to get into the men she was involved with. Have you seen them?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Here's another thing. It says she's 32. I'm pretty sure she was in her early 20s when she was with me. 27, 28.
Well,
I don't buy her age at all.
Yeah. Well, I think she's probably a little bit older.
Let's keep it kind. She was 20 because I think there's a low end. 27 in 2019. How old would she be now?
That's plus 6 years. So,
35.
27, 33.
33?
27 plus 6 is 33.
33 plus 26.
You said she was 20. You
think so she's about a year off. Says she's
2019.
32, so maybe it is right. I thought she was about 27 then. I thought she was a little older. Maybe not. But the thing is, like, how young these guys are. And they're...
Yeah, the Oz guy is 25.
They look so soy. You know? I couldn't believe for a minute that she was attracted to these jerk-offs. The leftist.
I look at it the other way.
Yeah, she used to make fun of those SJWs all the time, even like offline as well. I always thought that was pretty funny. Because I gave her the idea to do an obnoxious, because we're gonna play it because that was popular at the time. Hating on liberal women,
anti-SJWs.
Yeah, anti-SJW. It was still kind of popular. And she said,
although I remember watching it and enjoyed it.
She said, you're one of the only ones, sweetheart. She said, that's perfect because my sister drives me nuts with this shit. So she was actually doing an imitation of her sister. That's what she said. That's what she told me. Let's watch it. But Rico will come into it. I promise Rico will come into it.
Dissonance. It is this word that encapsulates not just how everything.
Oh, by the way, in regards to obviously if you call me a pedo or something. If you've been calling me a pedo and Agent noticed it, you're gonna miss your time. So Dickers is not gonna be able to play. So if you've just been calling me a pedo and it wasn't like a joke, or if it was like mean-spirited, you've already been kicked out of the server. Not gonna be able to call in. Otherwise, everybody else is good.
Thing went wrong, but also why Blair, or the channel Illuminati, was doomed from the start. Her channel is one part efficient businesswoman and one part unstable, vengeful manipulator. This mixture of image was so conflicted, a single tweet was all that was needed to spark a rapid.
That's really what sparked her spiral. I could say what sparked her, the first sign of her nuttiness.
Chain of events that revealed the secret long history of a channel that was believed to have no significant personality. Interest then shifted in covering her extensive list of wrongdoings.
Illuminati situation.
The accumulated viewership of such was so substantial that it surpassed her once phenomenally successful channel that once aimed at exposing seeding companies and individuals.
If I'm not mistaken, Gamer from Mars reported that Blair lost more views than any single person he's ever seen in any drama.
Oh, wow.
And that would be, I think it was, the big one was, who was the makeup artist?
Tyra Banks?
No, the male makeup artist.
Jeffree Star?
No, his friend. He was probably in on screen.
James Charles.
James Charles. That was the record. But Illuminati, percentage-wise, I think James Charles lost more. He lost more subs, right? But her views just went clunk.
She responded with a lawsuit, and her viewership responded with not existing. Since then,
this is why Ethan should be careful with this shit, with the lawsuits. Even if you're right, they don't care.
There have been an endless stream of videos covering.
And I can say one of the things that Europeans complain about Americans the most is their litigious nature. I've heard that over and over. You guys sue each other. And what are you going to say? It's true.
Blair, the people exposing her, and her lawsuit. With these coming to a conclusion, this video will attempt to showcase the full downfall of Illuminati. But first, I partnered with MyHeritage and took one of their DNA kits. I'm actually more French than German.
This is another thing Europeans hate. They really hate this. You're American. You're not Irish American or Italian, you're American. Oh no, that's the one exception the Europeans had. You're allowed to be Italian American, but anything else, no. And again, nobody says they're English American. You know that? Nobody says they're British American. Nobody says that. They say everybody else. It's not as cool. I remember when she had a surprisingly loyal audience, though she was so bland. I'll get into that, like making Rule 34 of her avatar. Yeah. I gotta be honest with you, like knowing Blair, I didn't think she had a bland personality. The thing is, I thought like with my project, I thought she was a bit lazy, but clearly, if you have to watch this video, she's like not even close to being lazy. I mean, she was really business minded.
She was grinded out.
Oh God, yeah. Oh God, yeah. Here we go.
Within the burgeoning creator space, there are channels that grow rapidly after posting a few videos.
Nobody says they're French American either. It's always like German.
There's the French Canadian.
It's German. Well, that's different. It's a whole different ball of wax. They're French Canadian. They say they're German American, Italian American, Irish American. What else? It's like African American.
Polish.
Yes. Yeah. Well, nobody says I'm Polish American. They say I'm Polish. Yeah, I'm Polish. Yeah, nobody says Polish or Russian American. They say they're Polish or Russian. Yeah.
These tend to fill underserved niches or create superior content within their genres. Illuminati was not one of these channels. It is not entirely clear what Blair, the creator and host of the channel, did prior to 2019. As her footprint was so insignificant, the earliest Wayback Machine capture of her channel dates back to the start of 2019. However, her channel was established May 9, 2013. And there is evidence that she posted between that time, like this 2017 collaboration video, that while it is only...
I know the people in the Moonbase. The Moonbase may came up with, as it relates to me, because the Moonbase was an offshoot of Shot from the Point that they all hung out and made fun of each other and fucked with each other. Real Talk was involved with it. This guy Rico that used to be on the team, one of the few guys that ever got like shit canned. There's been a handful, but not too many. And they all fucked with each other in there.
Collaboration through the creation of videos made on a similar topic, it does show a few seconds of Blair and links to her channel, the same channel she still uses. This also reveals she made a genre of video known as storytime videos. This means she not only deleted her side of this collaboration, but also all of her videos prior to 2019. Yet, a few have been archived through other means.
I don't know if Rico's still fat. I have no idea. It fell off the face of the earth.
These have been removed becomes apparent.
All I know is he made the burger tipster meme we have in there. That was his creation.
Upon examination.
Girls don't talk about their shit, their poops, right? Well, I'm going to talk about my poops because this is a story about poop.
Larger chunk.
I did not find out about that until after she became Illuminati and after she had a falling out with the Crow.
Of this video cannot be shown uninterrupted as Blair has copyright struck channels posting it in the past, and it remains in the YouTube Content ID system. The crux is, while on a date, I
don't know why she's so, because everybody makes like a bad video or something they're embarrassed about. Like, who cares? You know, it's funny. Mm-hmm. But I think the whole thing is, the story is she clogged the toilet. I can honestly say I've never done that in my life. You know, what do you have, shitting like literal bricks and iron?
Clogged her toilet.
It was huge. I'm looking at it and I don't even see the hole.
I think it sounded funnier on paper. You know what I mean?
For the toilet.
Tommy, can you cover the grooming gigs? I'll leave that to Chud to say it's not that bad. How about that, Kathy?
Blair's storytime videos are videos where the creator tells of wild happenings in her private life are dated at least back to 2015.
We decided to go out for a movie date, and the movie we're going to see is that new James Bond movie, Spectre, that's out.
Spectre in the United States premiered November 2015.
So I didn't know her until 2017, so this is long before I knew her.
It was around this time that Sarah J. Warren also premiered.
No, that's not true. 2 years later. I did not know who she was.
Sarah J. Warren is unapologetically feminist, and if they don't like it, then I would love to drink their overprivileged male tears, okay?
Sarah J. Warren was created to star in Tommy C's satirical news show, Get to the Point.
You know what's so fucking funny is when she deleted the things she said that were her assets. I paid for all this shit, and I could prove it. Vega made it all. Or did he make? Yeah, he made a bunch of the stuff. I think the background I might have just bought, but Vega made all of this shit. And then she said she deleted it because she paid for my assets. And but the character was 100% hers.
Tommy played the role of a sexist alcoholic that was kicked out of mainstream media.
Well, what's changed?
Blair's character, or what she portrayed, was clear.
Got Vega in there, can confirm. I paid him for the assets, 100%.
Just through the name.
She was sort of the modern woman, annoying SJW.
And her name was Sarah J. Warren, SJW.
I do not remember being on that recording for this. Is that terrible? I don't remember doing this.
She came up with that herself.
Despite the effort and collaboration of other creatives, Tommy states the project was a failure. As such, none of Blair's works gained purchase, until she began producing a simple yet lucrative style of video late 2018.
Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel.
Was that late 2000? Yes, 2018, 2000. Now, when we shelved Get to the Point, right? There was no bad blood. There was one guy I was a little irritated with, but I wouldn't spit on him if I saw him, right? There was zero bad blood. She wasn't the only one that wasn't pulling her weight, and I didn't get one out every week either. And that was the idea. Didn't work.
Yeah.
Satire's dead. It's all rape now. And I kind of realized that. The idea was to have the drama news was like legit, but the characters were farcical. It was never going to work. I thought it was a great idea. I know Turkey Tom really liked it, but ultimately it was a pain in the ass to put together. It like took a whole day. It was nuts. And then by the time you got it out, it was already like a week's worth of stuff. You know, this YouTube just wasn't algorithm friendly. I don't know. I thought it was funny though. It's still up if you want to go watch it.
It's Blair or the Illuminati, and I'm so glad to have
I tried to be Trauma Alert. Yes, that was my effort to be Trauma Alert. Yeah, failed miserably.
you guys here today with me on another wild ride through the r/anti-MLM subreddit. I think I can kind of sort of tell this is a favorite amongst our fans here on the channel.
These videos are of Blair reading what are presumably the top posts of the subreddit that is the subject of the video. Being that Reddit has a function where one can easily sort by the top, hence most popular post, all she had to do was read through these and add some commentary. She often interspliced some stock footage and evolved the videos to include her avatar that struck different poses depending on what is being said. This is a style found in many communities across YouTube. Being that the head...
I don't think there's anything wrong with what she did. And I know she was talking to Nerd City. She was talking to people, taking in information, combining it, and she came up with this, probably not 100% original, probably saw something, and she hit the algorithm lottery all on her own from there. Mm-hmm. You know, I don't know if she could have done it without, like, people she knew through me, but you got to understand, like, everybody that was in the SFTP newsroom, which she was welcome into, everybody that was around me liked her. And I can't say this frumpy, mean, controlling, manipulative, nasty, vengeful, vapid person, I never knew her. I used to put her on speaker, joke with my wife. My wife's German. She doesn't laugh very much. You know? I'd show her the baby. Verse was different, but I if I want to say something, Verse, we'll get into that, and I will give your side of it. It wasn't until she got it that you started getting irritated with her. Until she moved up, and I'll explain that story because I saw Nick cover this. He's got the timeline a little wrong. It's a long time.
Of her avatar is the Eye of Providence that is tied to many things such as secret societies. It is a nod to her channel name Illuminaughtii that differs in spelling to the group by the word naughty as to be disobedient and has an additional eye on both the start and the end of the name. This avatar turned out to be quite convenient as she more and more began to shift focus to the r/anti-MLM subreddit. MLM, or multi-level marketing, is often referred to
by the time she's on MLM, she was away from us.
As a pyramid scheme, and where one recruits unwitting subjects to sell often overpriced and difficult to sell products. The
like coins.
Pyramid shape comes into play as a share of the revenue goes to the recruiter, which is a point of the scheme, as recruiters of recruiters receive cuts from all below them, and to
like the mafia.
Win is to sit on the top layers of the pyramid. Blair had been covering this subreddit so much that it had its own separate category on her YouTube homepage. Being that those who join MLMs are often desperate, ignorant, or foolish, their tactics mimic these traits. So the focus of Blair's videos were more so on the absurdity of tactics used to sell products. This was her path to success.
I also want to give like a quick little shout out to like the 150 people who have all followed me within like the past week. I don't know what is happening there.
Blair's success, above all else, is attributed to a rapid rate of uploads. In March, her channel had jumped to 96,000 subscribers. Here she would upload...
So we're still good with her at this point, because I think when she started growing, right, I'm sure she'd say different. Everybody was supportive and happy for her, 100%. If I would have saw any sort of jealousy, and I would have I'd cut it down immediately. But everybody was like, maybe Verst wasn't. But we were all we were all happy for it. Verst was starting to smell a rat.
2 videos daily, largely consisting of subreddit coverage. In this screenshot, she abandoned the larger focus on MLMs to shift to popular Reddit themes. However, this screenshot in May shows that her MLM coverage was once again gaining prominence on her channel. And by August 2019, as per the bottom of this archive page, she had made 36 videos on MLMs and made a video dissecting what an MLM is, the trailer for her channel. But she was not the only one growing from...
Whatever happened to just calling it a pyramid scheme? That sounds so much cooler. MLM. Just take the life out of it. Pyramid scheme.
covering Reddit. There was the Click, One Topic, and r/. While many channels exist in this genre, these three are unique to Blair's story in that some would become friends, but eventually would all take on an adversarial role. r/, as many Reddit channels did in 2019, grew tremendously, yet few as fast. Though he had only started uploading in January of 2019, by February he was getting over 30 million views a month. This aroused suspicion.
I'll say, this is, we didn't think any of the time, but this is where Nick comes in, and this is where I think Nick got it backwards. This guy r/ shows up, and she shows Nick and I the amount of subs they're making. And I had never seen anything like it before. Nick hadn't either, but keep in mind, Nick's kind of new at that time, right? And she's going this whole thing about how he's cheating the system or gaming or knows somebody and he's connected and what have you. And she wants to make a video on him. And I remember saying to her, and I think she eventually does without us. I think I remember saying, like, if you make a video on him, you're probably just going to piss people off. It's going to look like jealousy. But I had to admit, the growth that he had, like, over, like, a lot quicker than Blair did, was, it was wild. Let me play it a little more. But later she tells us he threatened her.
Blair, during this time, took it upon herself to point out the suspicious growth. Without much more to go on than this almost unheard of growth, the drama died down. But what remained was the start of a history. One of hypocrisy, manipulation, and revenge. Her actions and her responses would repeat on wholly different people. This begins with Azothan's video.
All right, this fucking guy. I'm going to stick up for her on this because I remember this guy being out of his fucking gourd. But going back, so she wanted to kind of bring Nick in, and Nick was all ready to help her out. Remember, we're all pretty tight, you know? And he wanted to make the video. He bought it. I bought it hook, line, and sinker too. 100%. I was like, yeah, we could do this video. But I remember she called me and she told me that the guy or somebody, and she thought it was r/, had threatened her parents, and they'd gotten her parents' docs. And I said, what do you want to do? And she's like, I really want this out there. I was like, well, here's what we're going to do. You, me, and Nick are going to get in a call, and we're going to discuss this whole thing. Because I got to be honest with you, when you do something like this, having experienced punching up, bad shit's going to happen. People are going to try to intimidate you. And she said, okay, fine, right? Tommy feels low energy today? Oh, I'm sorry. So, anyway, if I start yelling, everybody's going to say I'm crazy. So anyway, we got her up, and she went through, I don't know the nicks and knacks on why she thought it was bullshit. I remember Nick was right behind her. And then I said to her, well, what about your parents? She's like, I really can't have them. They're old. I can't have them getting doxxed. I said, look, if you do this, if you kind of lay the gauntlet down and go after her, and I guess she made a video on it, and that's why Joon the King found out about it. Or I don't know if Joon the King's sourcing my past stories. I'm not even sure how this got out, other than maybe Nick talking about it over the years. We basically said, it's like, we'll go through, Nick will make the video, I'll cover it. I'm sure Augie and all them, once we get on it too, and that gets sort of passed around, and that'll get up. Now, at that point, she said, I don't want to do it. And we all agreed, okay, this is over. We never had this conversation. As this is building towards that phone call, Verst was starting to voice his complaints. I remember he made a comment about her, and it sounded dismissive. And I don't remember the exact conversation, but it was something to the effect of, what kind of problem? What do you got a problem with Blair? And he basically told me he thought the whole thing was bullshit. My reply was, you've seen that growth? Have we seen that? And he's like, yeah, it's been around. That's not nothing new. More than likely, it's an extremely experienced professional YouTuber. By that, somebody who knows the game, the algorithm. So because he was like, this thing that's going with r/ right now, and these, it's going away. This is one part of it, and YouTube's gonna tweak it, and it's not gonna be as lucrative, right? This is a come and gone. So he's a guy that identifies trends, and he came in and he knows exactly what he's doing. to trip the algorithm. Maybe he bought a bunch of subs. Maybe he didn't. This is still petty jealousy. And he was basically telling me that Nick and me should not get involved. This is petty jealousy for her. Go let her go. And I remember I was like really resistant to it because I was just like, oh man, I don't think Blair would do that. But later on, when me and Nick had the conversation, he's like, if you want to do this, you can change your mind. And then we've never had this conversation, right? And she said, I drop it. All that buildup, winding up Nick, telling me all this stuff. And then I'm afraid somebody's going to dox my parents. And it just was unspoken after that. It was the first, that was strange. And if I remember correctly, because remember, I'm keeping Versus conversation in the back of my mind. I may have even mentioned it to Nick at that point because like Nick's not buying her bullshit. He's thinking it's bullshit. And we were like, I don't know. She still hung around after that. Me, Willie, and her had like drama video competitions on the second channel. That was fun. We tried to make the best drama video against each other. I think she deleted those, unfortunately. Yeah, another thing that wasn't her assets. And that was it. So this is the part, the timeline's not right on this, but I mean, for video purposes, it's probably better. This guy was her ex-boyfriend, and I thought he was a nut.
I feel that I must state up front that for the last 2.5 years, I was involved in a romantic relationship with the YouTuber known as Illuminati. This relationship ended recently.
That was my first problem with this guy. Now, she had been telling me this guy had abused her and all this other shit. I did take that with a grain of salt because she clearly wanted me to hate him, right? But it didn't take long for me to actually hate him for YouTube reasons.
Then released this video on April 19th, 2019, in where he admits to secretly recording a phone call with Blair. It was not illegal, as Colorado, in terms of calls, is a one-party consent state.
I have seen your fucking Twitter and the bullshit you've been spewing on there.
The harassment.
You fucking asshat.
The abuse.
Because God knows why, because you're bitter about a fucking breakup because your cash cow fucking left you.
Can't go on anymore.
Azathan fails to pay.
She's telling you to fuck off. And I gotta be honest with you, I'm sticking up for Blair. She wanted this guy out of her life. What she did, Jeannie, she's like, if he would write her something, she would get on the phone and yell at him and stuff like that. I was like, just cut him off. And she's like, oh, when he said one more thing that pissed me off, I was like, just cut him off. Right?
Yeah.
Abuse. I love how what a melodramatic asshole. This guy, from what I could see, and he was trying to get, I thought he was a total stooge, to be perfectly honest with you. This had no, and I noticed when Nick covered it, he's like, I can't remember whether this guy was an asshole or not. He was a complete jerk. I don't know if the allegations against him were right, but he's a melodramatic jerk off that was terribly jealous that Blair was moving up in the world.
Paint a clear picture of his conflict with Blair. He claims Blair is threatening legal action if he were to make a video on her. But this
She was always threatening legal action. She came to Nick and me again to settle some, like, I guess Keemstar made a crack about her having an STD. And she said she was going to sue him. I knew it was bullshit. I was like, she's never going to do it. But we just let her blow off smoke. She's always threatening lawsuits. And lo and behold, when she got the money, she actually started doing it.
Conflicts with the intent the text message is expressing.
Threatening legal action, were I to make a video about her activities in any way.
Wait a minute. If you dox my person, I will go there and be a lawsuit. That's the thing I comment. You're blocked on my phone. I request that you do not ever attempt to contact me. If you dox me, my person, I will go have a lawsuit. I would never dream of revealing your address. Okay.
And you can see that despite violating no laws, making no threats.
I saw. You do this, and I called a lawyer. This is harmful to my person. She didn't have any money. I don't think she had the money to do it at the time, but it was coming in.
To dox her, making no claims of any illegal activity whatsoever. She was already willing to threaten prosecution.
Azathan has claimed to share the audio of the call anonymously. Why this matters is because, apparent by a second video Azathan released, the full call contained private information. The release of the entire call could be why Blair claims Azathan was threatening to dox her. Back to the first video, it turns out that Blair was in contact with someone threatening to dox Azathan.
A Discord user known as Cracker Snatcher, who had made threats of violence against me, as well as attempting to locate and disseminate my location and name. I was saddened to be informed by my friend.
What do you think of this guy? Genie.
I just have to keep toning him out, to be honest.
Yeah,
just...
he's so obnoxious. You know, I remember when she got involved with me, he was giving her a hard time. Like to him, I was like anybody that has more subs than you is like a big celebrity. I don't think he was too happy with that. He was a total pain in the ass. I don't think anything about this guy really reveals what she's going to become. It was a bad relationship, and they fought a lot. That's what this is.
That she had joined a Warcraft 3 Discord server solely for the purpose of providing and exchanging personal information with this extremely dangerous and unstable individual.
Let's see. They want boys to be gay and girls to reject men. When was this? Oh, April. Okay, it's around the same time. All day. So drugs, your family will die. What do you want? I want to have a chat about. I got 7 minutes before I go back to work. DM or no? Oh, that's damning.
Claim, at least by the evidence shown on screen, is not entirely substantiated, with the conversation being about boys being gay and rejecting men and going to war or prison and dying and doing drugs and truth-seeking and, of course, saving the world. From Blair's side, it is only clear she wanted to speak to this individual, but the contents of the private conversation are not shown, and thus there is no proof, besides anecdotal, that she was attempting to deliver Azathan's docs. While their conflict did not lead to much due to the lack of strong evidence or the general disinterest towards Azathan's video.
That's pretty much what it was. Nobody gave a fuck. Nobody gave a fuck. In fact, I remember telling Blair, like, I think she wanted me to fucking go after him if I'm mistaken. I was like, nah, it's a bad idea. I don't think he even had 1,000 subs at the time.
There are claims that made over time would ring more.
Yeah. It's like, just let him go. You just got to stop calling him. If I remember correctly. I mean, I might get some of this wrong, but that's the way I remember it.
And more true.
An early friendship with Fresh helped mold her content, but also led her to believe that anyone else utilizing that general framework was a copycat. I listened to endless rants about misery box, deservedly, Bumfries, and even Voicey here being nothing more than mediocre mimics of herself and Fresh. Which leads us to the original step she took into the commentary community. Her call-out video against r/, claiming that he was using viewbots. What fueled this was her anger at being so quickly outpaced by another channel.
I gotta be honest with you, like, if that means she was lying to me at the time and still talking to him, I wonder if she was still sleeping with him. That's the thing. Like, they had one of those relationships. I always got the feeling that she was, like, going back, you know? Maybe leading him on a bit.
Blair later deleted her video on r/, but the jealousy of competing channels
I don't remember that video at all. I wish Nick would remember. Nick didn't remember it either. I didn't know she actually ended up making it. What we did find out is she actually, the guy that was going to dox her parents, she would actually eventually form a partnership with her. Like, I remember it was like a year later or something. She's working with r/. She almost made us make a video on it. And I remember Verse telling us it'd be the biggest mistake of our lives if we covered that. And he was right. It was a damn good thing we didn't.
Performing her, or merely existing in proximity would remain. With a person so reputation-minded, one that believes reputation is molded with intent instead of forming passively, Blair knew she had weaknesses and quickly sought to remove them. Her history as Sarah J. Warren greatly conflicted with her new image of a compassionate, investigative creator who sought to expose the wrongdoings of companies.
Yeah, some of them were privated. As per Blair's request a couple months ago when she was going to sue Keemstar for saying she had an STD. So I cooperated and I privated the videos. But before she left, she deleted the private videos too. So that, to clear up some of the confusion on.
Tommy explains how Blair still had access to his channel and why now only short clips of her time as Sarah J. Warren exist online. This is explained through a dense story of Tommy and friends calling an employee of Blair's obese. Something he took
He was mad.
offense to, even though he partook in verbalizing similar comments towards others. This is the stated intent, one that makes it appear that she disassociated through compassion and not to hide her history. And it worked for the time being.
And that's really what it was. She wasn't like, I'll give you an idea what the call was.
No, she's not too big for her britches. She's fucking stupid. She's not cut out for this. That's something we can definitely say from knowing her behind the scenes.
Yeah, because she freaks out when she makes these videos.
Anything that takes any sort of like stress, any stress comes down on her, anything that takes brain cells is where she just fucking falls apart.
Blair, in her efforts to remove her history, had only added more to it. While she had succeeded in wiping those old videos, these were replaced with Tommy C's testimony that they existed, alongside her underhanded actions.
The only one video that's the only one she didn't. She forgot she made me a side video that I put myself in, so she would have deleted that one too if she'd have known it. So that's the only the clip you see there is the only thing left of Sarah J. Warren.
To remove them. What's more, she was now attempting to remove coverage of this.
Shit goes down. We know about it, we talk about it, and then all of a sudden, I get a strike this morning on a video that was entitled, "Strike This Bitch."
Blair, as later revealed, had not hit this video with a copyright strike. Rather, she informed an artist whose work was used to create the thumbnail for said video, and they struck it. This back and forth lasted for several months, yet coverage of her and her actions seldom gained purchase, even as the fans' new claims largely went ignored.
So here's Aslan's tweet right here. When Illuminaughtii told me that as a stripper, yes, I'm reading that correctly, she took clients into the champagne room and would threaten them with violence, lie to the bouncers about being molested, and have them beat the person up if they didn't give her more money.
I kind of believe that. Yeah, I kind of believe that now. I would not have believed that then.
Should have been the last red flag.
Blair had...
But that's that guy. Who the fuck knows?
Made enemies.
I could see it. I don't think she's above it.
Within the commentary community. These sour ties hardly affected her new ventures and relationships, as by January 2020, she had a new partner known as Oz Media, who was also creating similar videos covering subreddits. Blair...
All right, let's get into this. Now, let me just tell you a story. Real talk, Rico, what was her name? Failery. Oh, there's another guy who used to be a big fan of mine. I can't remember his name. Another guy, Real Talk's eventual wife, all met in Las Vegas. I get a call, like a FaceTime call, right? They want to thank me because the show brought them all together. At this time, Blair's piping hot, right? And there was going to be a big thank you, and I wasn't really comfortable about it, but you know, I was like total dick. So I take the call. There's other people there, like Vault, and I forget who else was there. To be honest with you, Vault's the only one I remember because he had the only interaction. But we can see the high side of the hotel room. I can see Real Talk. I can see Sam. I can see all these people. And what happens is Vault, who was a kid at the time. And here's another thing. Keep in mind, the moon base. These guys are fucking with each other the whole time. And Rico had showed us a picture of them probably about 10 years earlier, right? So we thought he was like a husky guy, right? He was pretty much, I would say, you know, he looked like kid behind the camera, you know? That's like how big he was, right? So, like, we see him kind of standing behind the bed because you got to matter, like, the picture, where the laptop is in bed, and he was definitely trying to hide his weight. But Vault, being a prick kid, yells, "Boy, Rico, you're fat! Oh my God, you're fat!" And they, like, Real Talk, Sam, Blair, everybody that was there. I want to say this guy starts with a D. I can't remember. Are just start fucking laughing, and it looks like Rico's like kind of blushing. I didn't think anything of it at the time, mostly because Rico was brutal. That was my experience with Rico. He was brutal, and he was brutal on Vault. You know, talking about blowing himself up and all the things. But that was their game in there. Maybe because it was IRL. I don't know. It was different. It's okay online, but it's bad to do IRL. There's another thing too that Rico sent us a picture that was very different, and Vault was just relentless. It got so bad it got so fucking bad, right? That I told it's like, you got to stop. That's fucking you got to stop. This is fucked up. And I was like, well, stop, right? So that went away. Okay. Sam told me that she was like, Blair was super rude in the trip, acted like she was above each other. And here's the thing, like Blair's channel's growing, but because she doesn't show her face and she really doesn't show much of her personality, I think she wanted to be sort of a YouTube celebrity. And she wasn't getting that. I probably, with 30,000 subs, was much more well-known than she was with pushing 1 million. You know, she didn't, because nobody knew who the fuck she was. It was just the way her content worked, right? Yeah, it's just the way her content worked. But you could tell that's what she really, really wanted. So I get a call. Keep in mind, I'm good with Blair. And I'd like to tell you that I just said fuck off. Like I told Aiden to fuck off. But I didn't. I got a call and said, Tommy, I'm very upset with you. And I think this is going to affect our relationship in the future. I was like, whoa, what's going on, Blair? One of your vault called one of my mods, wouldn't refer to him by his name, fat. Really? You sure? And I'm like, I thought she might have been joking. And she said, one of your mods called one of your mods called one of my mods fat. I was like, yes, so what? I mean, Blair, what do you want? He's a kid. And they're all razzing each other. And I got to be honest with you, I think everybody was laughing, right? Weren't you there? And it's like, this is unacceptable. She kept on saying, my mods don't like this, my mods this. And instead of saying what I'd normally say, fuck your mods, I said, look, you're a new YouTuber. You've already probably had more views than I've ever made, right? Don't let your mods, because I'm thinking of from like Discord mods, because I've had kind of takeovers in my Discord, right? Since when can those jerk-offs make polls? Is Tommy C a closet homosexual? I'll click yes. Who's winning? Yes, 78%. They should be allowed to make fucking things. I hate those things.
We'll probably have to talk with Core about that.
Yeah, Core. I hate fucking polls. Oh, now there's gonna be 1 million of them. All right, delete all the polls as they come up, please. If you see them there. Fuck your polls.
You're the one who drew attention to it. So.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that means they're coming. So
that's what.
She's really nasty. She's really fucking nasty, and she said something to the effect, if this continues, I don't think our relationship can continue. And I was thinking to myself, at that point, she had promised to shout me out like for the umpteenth time. I'm like, who gives a fuck? You know? And she hadn't done it. So I was like, okay, whatever. I told all the guys about this weird encounter, right? And then I was streaming and this happened.
That's a lot of money, I guess, for a person of color.
Better watch your back. Keep your people in control. Better YouTuber. Yeah, fuck you. I'll do what I want. Rico.
So, and honestly, I thought like it was actually Core fucking with me. He was imitating, like I was telling, like, yeah, because the whole vibe with Blair is to keep your people in control, right? But that sounds like something. Keep your people. That sounds like something Rico would say. So I said Rico, assuming that Core probably was in that stream before he. What the heck? I hate this chat viewer thing. It sucks. Rico was like in that stream when he must have been watching it, you know. So I get a message later that night, and she says, "I'm sorry. It's been great. I appreciate everything you've done for me, but we have to break up our relationship." And I just wrote, "Oh, maybe I can drop DMs." I don't give a fuck about her. She finally, because I don't think she didn't block me for a long fucking time. Hold on a second. Hold on a second. I wonder, because I don't know if she ever got around to blocking me, because I never wrote anything nasty to her. And maybe I'll just read what they say. No, she finally got around to blocking me. No, long gone. Too bad. And I just write, all right, whatever you like, Blair. I went to bed, and when I woke up, and I had this really weird feeling, and then I went to, I knew what happened before I got there. They're gone. Mm-hmm. Then I decided to leak the story to Augie as if somebody else leaked it besides me. Because Augie was going at the time, I wanted him to cover it, and then I wanted to comment on Augie's, it was a little deceptive of me. But I told Augie, this is a stupid fucking thing I did. I said, Augie, don't tell him I'm the leak. Make it seem like it's maybe somebody in my team or something like that. Which was like the stupidest thing I ever did because we had never had a leak in the past. Not a single leak. The only person that has ever leaked that we could ever trace down for SFTP history was me. So I leak it to them and they all start pointing fingers at each other. And I didn't want to tell them it was me because they were so mad. No, it was you. I know it was you. You're not loyal. It was you. I'm like, oh no. Oh no. They're all fighting. Like, no. And I said, look, I got them all in. I said, nobody's in trouble. I'm going to let this one slide. And I said something stupid like, I know you're mad because she was our friend and you probably somebody just got really mad, which is complete fucking bullshit. Right? Snaky Seats battles, right? Yeah. So what I did, because I just wanted him to get it rolling, and then I got it rolling, and then Tipster got it rolling, and the whole system's up. It really didn't do much good, but she was on her way after that. But it did, like, when she caused, I gotta be honest, I could have never guessed the havoc she would cause in the upper ranks of YouTube. Never. I knew she was Snake, right? But I never ever thought that she would do what she did. And just like constantly lie. So this really, from this on in, I don't know nothing.
Oz Media and a few other channels such as The Click, Wonderstruck, and One Topic had joined in creating Sad Milk, a collaboration channel. There are more channels, but these are the most relevant to Blair. The content consisted of the group reacting to memes and the like while in a group call. As Sad Milk grew, Blair began shifting her own videos towards the ever-popular video essay genre. Though she stuck with the main theme.
She gotta give her credit. She tried to stay. She kept it coming. You know what I mean?
Of coverage of MLMs, her videos were hardly limited in topic. While her Reddit videos had her at 2.5 million views a month, her video essays doubled that.
I remember, I'll never forget that. I've told this story before. She showed me her views for the month. It was the first month that she had. She said, Tommy, how much money do you have coming in? I said, I've never got the kind of views, so I'm going to base it on what I make. Low end 7, high end 10, maybe more around between 8 and 10. It was 12. And that's when she told me, I'm going to shout you out. I'm going to do everything. I can't believe it. Oh my God, I love you. Thank you. Another shifty YouTuber.
In September, as seen in the Social Blade graph, her channel had lost 34 million views, likely due to the mass deletion of her Reddit videos. Though this new genre brought in far more interest, the consequences of this shift were large, but not entirely understood until several years later. Both the success and issues of such are boiled down to a rate of uploads. While nowhere near the pace of 2 videos a day she once had, Blair would still upload 3 to 5 videos weekly. While some channels opt to delve into subjects to get a unique perspective, refine the script, and fact-check all—
That's who really, H-Bomber guy put the fucking nail in her coffin.
All the claims multiple times, Blair chose to do none of this. Her videos were laden with mistakes and constantly removed. Comparing this Wayback Machine screenshot of June 17, 2020 to the videos found on her channel shows that 5 of these 30 videos had been removed. However, there are videos on her channel with massive mistakes that still stand. A different possibility for the removal could be copyright claims. In fact, June 2020 marks the earliest, if not the first time, she was somewhat accused of, not exactly copyright, but rather plagiarism.
Coincidences happen, and I'm sure as a larger YouTuber, you're accused of stealing content from people you've never even heard of or seen before.
It's happy, crappy, cruel mind, cruel world, whatever.
So I get it if this message comes across that way.
That was creator Cruel World Happy Mind. On April 23, 2020, she released her video on Tyra Banks. Then on May 20, 2020, she released a follow-up. A little over a week after, Blair released her video on Tyra Banks that is suspiciously similar to Cruel World's videos. Viewers informed Cruel World of this, which is when she messaged Blair. Nothing came of this.
Hey girl, So that video released in Tyra Banks is especially similar to my video. What's up with that? Whoa.
Till Blair decided to speak vaguely upon the drama in a podcast. This is that audio.
I'm going to try and keep it vague so I don't mention this person's channel.
Yeah.
But it's a very small YouTuber, and
this is the Blair I started to know towards the end. Just everybody just have to get even, and that never went away. You know, even when she's losing lawsuits, it didn't go away.
she DM'd me on Instagram, and she goes, "I'm just really disappointed because you're someone I look up to, and you copied my video, and I want credit." Right? So I didn't know who this person was. So I went to my moderators in my Discord server and I was like, hey, I screenshotted the message. I sent it to them. And I said, do you know, is this a YouTuber? Can you guys like tell me who this is or what they're even talking about? Because I had no idea.
Yeah.
They come back to me. It's this small channel. I'll just say less than 50,000 subscribers at the time. And she sources me. She uses me as a source in her videos, for one. So I found it kind of funny.
Blair's saving grace is she did not mention Cruel World by name.
Obviously, the first thing I did before even looking at her videos is I went to look at her sourcing list, because I think that's really important, is what do you use? And she had 5 sources. You know, I have to use a pastebin document because I have anywhere 30 to 70 sources per video.
Remember these guys on the podcast are like, yeah. I mean, she got around all these like gay men. It was so weird, you know, and I never put her on that hand, but I got soy and gay men. I guess they're easy to push around.
I don't play around. But she had like 5 sources.
Monaghan's captured.
You know, one was Wikipedia, one was BuzzFeed, one was like TMZ or something.
Oh my god. The most, you know, oh god.
Yeah. What's funny about this, she would be even more lazy with her fucking sources.
And those sources are okay for a reference on certain things. Like I use Wikipedia as a starting point.
These statements are false. Cruel World does not cite Wikipedia a single time in either of her videos. Going to a Wayback Machine screenshot of Wikipedia of May 2020 and cross-referencing the sources in the video's descriptions shows that not one of Cruel World's sources are actually found on Wikipedia. Moreover, though Blair inflates her sourcing list to averaging 30 to 70, it often hovers around 20. And looking at Blair's sources for her Tyra Banks video reveals not only her citing Wikipedia, but also citing 4 of the 6 sources found in one of Cruel World's videos. Looking at Cruel World's second video, it has 2 sources. That is, if you did not read. The first link is a link to BuzzFeed, but it was stating that it was Tyra responding to the backlash after Cruel World released the video. This is not a source. Blair is also an avid user of Wikipedia. The first available video on her channel about MLMs lists Wikipedia as nearly 1/3 of its sources. Funny. Even with this ease of information...
This is kind of, we're got to get in a window into, let's try to expose somebody, but that's going to expose me even more. You know, I think we covered all this. That's fucking funny.
She still gets information wrong.
One of the earliest MLMs, or what we consider currently to be an MLM started all the way back in 1934, is a company called Neutralite.
The top of the wiki states that while the products were being developed in 1934, the second paragraph clarifies that it was not until 1939 that it was renamed Neutralite. This holds true with Neutralite Products Incorporated as found on California's Secretary of State website. This is to say that not only is Cruel World not guilty of what Blair is accusing her of,
Blair stole her shit. So if you knew you stole this girl's shit, right? Why would you want to even leave a single fucking clue out there by calling her out? That is arrogance. And we could see what happened. It's almost identical to what would happen with Legal. She stole my videos, and then you look. Wait a minute, no, you did. And then, of course, there's the H bomber guy.
Blair is guilty of almost all of it.
And just gives her opinion on how she feels about things. And I said, you cannot believe for 1 second, ma'am, that I am copying you. You are giving an opinion. I don't do that. In my opinion, Tyra realized what it really means to be an MLM and the legal hoops you have to jump through.
Yeah, I think you gotta be fucking crazy to do what she just did. And he's like, well, who cares? It's YouTube. You know, Blair's playing in the big game. Like the big game. Why fucking put it in why put yourself in danger? Like she was that And you start to see signs with it, like with r/ and getting back at people and Keemstar and lawsuits. Like, she has to get even.
It hardly ends here.
By the way, her mods called her mommy and mother.
You're looking at how I outline my videos.
Yeah, they did. That's according to who was that? He said he didn't do it. I don't think he did. It was one of my guys. And she paid him too. That was another thing. She incorporated like right away. She's like, in fairness, and she paid well. Everybody that she paid well. Like everybody I know worked with Xana told me they would call her mommy and mother, and she said it was strange, you know. But she never he never hey Hanks, you're not gonna be allowed to call me a pedo. He lost his chance. Sorry there, Hanks. He sat there and said I sent a dick pic to a 14-year-old girl. Yep, you lose.
We're trying to replicate that, and then when I cover a topic that you've already covered, I guess.
Dickers just found out he got clipped. I had what's his name clip everybody that was calling me a pedophile.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, guess what? No, you're gonna have to. That's the thing. It's gonna suck because you have to be above board. You can't be bad faith.
Then you say that I'm copying you, but I was like, honey, I've been doing the same thing. Like, that's not my fault.
Blair did not cover Tyra Banks before Cruel World. Furthermore, Blair mentions the stealing of an outline. An outline is the foundation of the video. It's its skeleton that is filled in.
What do you think of
Comparing Blair's video to Cruel World's first video shows some stark commonalities in how they're outlined. It is less about the similar information that appears, but how often it is presented in a similar sequence.
She has a ton of controversy surrounding America's Next Top Model, and I've got quite a few issues with her, really.
The company Tyra Beauty was, of course, flawlessly launched through an America's Next Top Model episode.
In 2012, Banks told anyone and everyone that she graduated from Harvard Business School, posing for pictures with her supposed diploma. But as Jezebel, another news source, reported, she was in fact graduated from the Owner-President Management Program at Harvard, a non-degree granting certificate course at Harvard.
Okay, I just had to talk about this. In this video and also online, Tyra talks about her Harvard Business School graduation.
You blew it, Dickers. I was gonna let you call in. Sorry. You're a bad faith loser. Sorry. You missed your opportunity. Send your friends.
But this is not the Master's in Business Administration degree that Tyra received. In fact, she only attended a course called the Owner-President Management Extension Program. That's not part of the school's master's degree.
The Why I Started Tyra Beauty commercial or recruitment ad or whatever you want to call it is a classic MLM stuff.
But the most upsetting video of all of this, I have to say, is Tyra Banks's video of why I created Tyra Beauty.
It could be a coincidence that many of these videos were presented following one another, but videos like these can be presented vastly different. It can start chronologically, starting from Tyra mentioning her mom, or even customer reviews to foreshadow the disappointment. This is all suspicious considering, according to Cruel World, Blair did not post her sources until confronted.
There were no sources on this person's video. The only thing it had in the description was in parentheses, sources coming soon.
On February 6, 2021, Cruel World addressed this in a video. Also choosing to keep Blair anonymous, Cruel World summarizes the happenings up to this point, giving Blair...
Had she not kept her anonymous and went to this would have been over before Legal. Because Blair, you want to know why I want to know why I don't want to talk to Chud? I'll tell you exactly why. Because Blair got her in and said, okay, I want to talk about anything. If you don't talk about anything, we'll leave it alone. And by the way, those guys that shot from Point, they're all misogynists, and they made fun of the fact that I had a, what was it? Not an abortion. What's the other one? She had miscarriage. Yeah, they made fun of the fact, which was just a blatant lie. Nobody knew she was pregnant. Nobody made fun of her miscarriage. After she bought that shit and didn't work with us. Could have got rid of Blair years ago.
Blair the benefit of the doubt, writing off these similarities as a coincidence. However, when Cruel World was made aware of the comments Blair made on the podcast and 2 Instagram stories that Cruel World alleges existed, her tone changed.
This is where it gets really weird and really shocking. This person makes another Instagram story where they say something along the lines of alluding to the fact that I'm untrustworthy because my profile shows up on a website that's supposedly about buying YouTube bots.
The indirect nature of this confrontation thus far has made this confusing. The lack of sources make it difficult to follow up on Cruel World's claims. But what she does present is enough to piece together how this ended. First, Blair was alluding to doing a debunking stream. Then by February 8th, this tension was aired out. It was made clear that Cruel World was talking about Blair and vice versa. Blair, in a message to Cruel World, claims that Cruel World was responsible for ripping the veil of the previously obscured conflict. But Blair extends the olive branch by asking, quote, "Is there some common ground we could find?"
Bingo. Bingo. This is why I won't do it. Right here. This is why I won't do it. Because it's insincere.
This, unquote. After a 3-hour-long phone call, the issue was resolved. Blair states she would not go forward with her livestream, and in return, Cruel World would be, quote, removing her part about me and a video she recently...
I'm gonna try to get the goddamn fucking... I hate the fact that I can't... This thing dies all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I do. I fucking hate it so much. Let me just reset that bitch. I hate it. I hate it. All right, connected, supposedly. There we go.
Did, unquote. This is the video in question, and that section is indeed missing. It is now only found archived through videos dissecting their conflict. This story, the way it was all going on without the knowledge of viewers, only for it to be all revealed and blow up spectacularly, would repeat on a far larger scale. It would involve more people, have far worse claims, and damage virtually all those involved. This upcoming conflict, where Blair is at the center, would not end with reconciliation. This begins with Sad Milk. The channel had progressively taken more effort than it was worth. From a business standpoint, the growth was abysmal in comparison to the individual growth of the channels involved. From a retrospective angle, the channel was a beginning.
You said your buddy used to listen to Sad Milk and her. Was this aimed at like the tea community?
No, it wasn't Sad Milk. It was just Blair.
Just Blair herself. Who listened to Sad Milk?
Yeah.
Like, it seems like the most
I don't know.
headache-inducing crap that I've ever heard of.
Of a long road of suffering for many involved, even past its dissolution. By mid-2020, tensions were rising with its collaborators. There was conflict with deciding editing costs, scheduling times to record made more difficult with different creators living in far different time zones,
I've been there.
And then there was Blair, who had control in the absence of leadership. The first
lucky you guys.
outward signs of its collapse came in October 2020. Sometime between October 2nd and October 16th, collaborators One Topic and The Click were removed from the list of channel members found on the home page. Behind the scenes, a meeting was called to address some of the rising issues. Blair claims to have not wanted to attend due to her frustration with the responsibilities. After joining the meeting regardless of this wish, she eventually shouted at One Topic and said something along the lines of, "Shut the fuck up." One Topic left the call due to this outburst. Then on October 9th, he announced to the group that he was stepping away from the project.
Blair's the only one that had a fucking set of nuts over there.
The following day, the Click left as well. This was not announced to the public until November 1st, 2020, which also announced the departure of a different member. As the Click will later point out, only 3 hours from this announcement, Blair tweeted, quote, "Casual reminder, pedophilia is never a quote-unquote gray area. It's wrong. If someone you know won't take actions, then they are complicit to the problem," unquote. The Click claims that with Sad Milk retweeting Blair, it stirred up rumors about why they left. This was the intended effect, and
that's what they did. They did that on purpose. Jesus, they're all the fucking same. Are you seeing a pattern here, Jeannie?
Yeah.
It's tied to what was previously a resolved issue that began in September. This screenshot was of a 19-year-old Discord user stating that they were dating a 13-year-old. This user even states that they got in contact on TeamSpeak, not the Click server, which is where this was all being posted. It did not take long for this admission to come to the attention of server mods, who some were also the shared mods of Blair. The user was banned shortly after and allegedly reported to Discord's trust and safety team. In a message to One Topic, she makes the allegation that the Click knew this was happening. However, the Click alleges that since this was 2 a.m. his time, he was asleep when this was all happening, and woke up to the chaos of what happened, made all the more confusing since the user was already banned. The Click and Blair discussed this, with Blair stating that she was proud of the Click. This brings us back to the tweet Blair had made a month and a half after the events were seemingly resolved. Now Blair was actively trying to harm the Click. In this leaked Discord screenshot, Blair states she is writing a piece about sad milk, but it is written from the third person. Quote, "I saw the sad milk announcement." Unquote. This is quite strange considering she is the one who wrote said announcement. Strange until it was posted not under Blair's account, but this account that went under Doobie Schmertz. It believes there is a piece of the puzzle missing.
Doobie Schmertz? With
little to no traction following the insinuation Blair had made, this post was attempting to nudge interest towards it. Quote,
"Oh my god, this is far beyond anything I think she was capable of. If you'd have told me she did this, I wouldn't have believed it. Even like this is far beyond like a pedophilia. She fucking lost everything for this.
Like, it really looks like, quote-unquote, creative differences is dumb AF. Blair tweeting about being stabbed in the back, one topic leaving his supporter server, and then watching so many of his mods disappear, and Wonderstruck talking about how he hates friends fighting, and even Clicky not streaming as much, and deleting some of his streams and clips. I think something happened, guys. I think I figured out what really happened. Unquote. The discovery was that this, quote-unquote, anonymous user pieced together that Blair saw the Click's older videos and found out that Click had used the R slur, then goes on to say, quote, "As an autist, I was mad he would call a Minecraft zombie that word." Unquote.
Wait a minute. Do autistic people refer to themselves as autists? I thought that was like a slur or a nasty thing to say. Is that new? Liquid Bobax, would you know? Do you refer to yourself as a Bobax? No, nobody refers to themselves as an autist. Yeah, I know you do, Lynn.
Quote, "This is the crux of the post, but it's also important to mention it praises Blair. Quote, Blair is a big supporter of the community and awesome. I love her videos about exposing Autism Speaks. I think Blair found out about this and fought with him about it." Unquote. The user then points to another video of the Click saying the F slur. Quote, "I think all of Sad Milk knows about these videos. I think he chose not to delete it and it caused the fight." Unquote. This is a gross sowing of a conspiracy theory that did not at all reflect what actually happened. The top comment should have clarified how little viewers cared. Quote, "Click has said that he was much less open-minded in the past, and considering the fact that these are from 2010, I think he has grown a lot as a person since then. Honestly, while you do bring up a good few points, I don't think we should start a heck ton of rumors about this situation. I don't want it to end up like it did with Flinders, where people were making theories left and right. Though unfortunately, with a change this big, it's probably inevitable." Unquote. A second post was made to draw attention to the Click saying the N-word in the past. This also failed to get any traction, and it was later revealed that Blair had also—
Somebody said the N-word. These people are ridiculous, but she knows the audience. Like, I don't think that would have worked in Augie's community. They would have made this person a hero.
Paid someone who goes as Felix the Kit Kat $200 to dig through the raw audio Sad Milk to find Click using the R word. Seeing how Redditors were forgiving of the word considering how long ago he said it, Blair was looking for a more recent example, though her efforts would eventually only harm her own reputation. For the time being, in mid-2021, after the conflict and resolution with Cruel World, while Sad Milk was absent of uploads, it was soon to be considered a dead channel. Blair made new efforts to improve relations with some of the remaining Sad Milk cast. Oz Media was a given being that they were in a relationship and had moved in together at Oz's new house. The other person of note was Wonderstruck Guy, who moved in shortly after Oz and Blair did. Blair hired Wonder June 7th as an editor with a starting salary of $50,000. His role was not under Blair's main channel, but her second channel, Illuminaughtii, a channel that mostly hosted clips of her live streams. There was not much work for Wonder to do during this period, a fact that displeased both Blair and Wonder. In this mix were plans for Wonder to become a tenant of Blair's, though those never—
That's the thing, like, he doesn't strike me as somebody she would be attracted to. I mean, he's kind of like, look, dress the way you want to dress, carry yourself carry yourself the way you want to carry yourself. But I mean, I couldn't, just the way I knew her, I figured she was dating guys of like over 6 feet or something like that, and like muscular, maybe even chubby. Mm-hmm. That's the hand I put her on. And these guys that look kind of, I'm not saying they're bad guys, just kind of weak.
Never materialized. But the BMW did. One that Oz and Blair paid a significant down payment on and entered into a questionable rent-to-own contract with Wonder. From just June to July, Wonder would not only be fired from his position, but would also lose this car. As Wonder claims, when editing one of Illuminaughtii's videos, his software corrupted due to a faulty GPU. To reach the deadline, he flew back to Texas to get a different computer to finish the job. There was some leeway here in that the deadline was pushed back from July 26th to August 2nd. Or so it seemed, as he was fired July 27th for not meeting the prior deadline.
It was here on this call that I was fired for explicitly not meeting deadlines, which I find highly confusing due to once more I must reiterate that my deadline was August 2nd.
Wonder, with nothing left in Colorado, visited his father in Texas. But now came the issue of what to do with the car.
Oz gave me a set of options as to what I could do with the car, and I picked option 2, where it was agreed I would bring the car back to Colorado, gather my belongings, and I'd pay the value via regular payments, etc.
The contract Wonder signed, though it is disputable whether it was legally binding, stated that the car would reside in Colorado. The word reside, in legal speak, can mean that it is a place that one dwells continuously, a primary residence. So while Wonderstruck and the car were physically in Texas, it could be argued that because Colorado remained his legal residence, that much could also be applied to the car. This matters because Blair sought to repossess the car, and on July 29th, using the embedded GPS and a spare key, she flew—
I gotta be honest with you, I think she's probably legal right here. I mean, she's being a bitch, but I mean—
flew to Texas and repossessed the vehicle in the middle of the night.
When my wife left me, she took all my forks. She used to grab the forks. And I stopped her and she's like, I'm gonna call the MPs. So we waited till the MPs came. And the MP says, we can't, like, I go, none of this stuff starts, like, you have to go to court over it. I can't stop her from taking anything out. Right? I was like, yeah, but he's like, I mean, it's I guess if I had plastic stuff, I wouldn't care. He's like, there's nothing I can do for you. And he was like, and so she's standing right there smiling. And the greatest thing happened in my life. She turns around here. He turns around at her and he says, what are you smiling at, lady? I'm doing this because it's legal. You're being ridiculous. You're the reason we have problems in this post. She got yelled at by the army. Jerome is so great. It was worth losing the forks. You should have saw her tense up. She was sitting there with her arms crossed like this, and then the MP just laid into her. It's like, yeah, I was like, just because you're in the legal right doesn't mean you're in the moral right. In fact, I think you are shaming yourself. It was so awesome. Yeah, it was totally worth
Blair
the forks.
retrieved the vehicle.
Worth the forks, worth the coffee machine.
In a suboptimal state. Besides some trash and clothing thrown about, there was physical damage to the glove box latch and a crack on the windshield. The crack was claimed to have been from rogue asphalt propelled from the car in front of him. Also in the car were various valuables, including 2 YouTube play buttons. Wonder would fight to retrieve his belongings through a demand letter, but his belongings were reportedly thrown away. This marks yet another relationship soured. Of all the prominent members of the now-defunct Sad Milk, Blair was now only on good terms with Oz. Then, in December of 2021, they ended their romantic relationship. But they still seemed to remain on good terms. Oz was even working for Blair informally even just 3 months prior to their breakup, which continued—
I had long hair too at one point. It's even with the hair. He looks feminine, right?
Well, I think he goes by he, him, and they, them. So I think it is like—
so it might be something like that. All right, good.
As he became an employee. But it turns out not for a good reason. Oz owed Blair money. She allegedly tried to get a custom multi-million-dollar house built with Oz, with him incurring 50% of the deposit and the like in an unwritten ledger owed to her.
Oh, that's so
the
funny.
kicker is, she canceled the project, meaning she forfeited that deposit, yet held Oz responsible for his half. What followed, bringing the timeline back to the romantic relationship ending.
There is a part of me that, like, we put the video ads, we said she was no good, we had the Happy Mind Cruel World situation happen. Nobody listened to us. They were like, oh, those guys are right wing. Good. So all the right people got it in the ass. All the information was there. The character was just like usual with Bobax or Tipster or Mama Max and John's Way. It was all fucking there. And Chud one day too. It was all there. Nobody wanted to use any common sense. and say, wow, you don't have like a film of this actually happening, therefore you don't have proof. It was all fucking there for everybody. They all ignore it. And these guys lost serious cash. Good. There you go.
Was Blair moving out to purchase her own home. Then around August 2022, she sold this home to commission a new build. With Oz suffering financially and his house nearing foreclosure, Blair footed 6 months of mortgage payments. This was added to the unwritten ledger until December of that year, when Oz signed documents that recorded this debt as liens against his house. This matters because it gave her the power, if she wanted, to foreclose on Oz's house. It is also alleged that Blair told Oz that signing these documents would mend their relationship. By January 2023, she had moved out and moved into a rental while she waited on her new house to close. Though she left some of her belongings to be
big lonely house
retrieved later. It was then that Oz accessed her computer and found out that she was seeing someone else. It's difficult to ascertain what type of relationship they held, as Oz told a different employee of Blair's that she cheated. Oz even reached out to Wonder to inform him about what happened. These documents, as have been shown on screen, were retrieved, highlighted, and censored by the channel Mad Catster, who redacted larger sections whether due to personal information or the severity of what is being stated.
You know, when I first read the details of this and...
You think she went left because the LGBT crowd was kind of attracted to her? I mean, people don't believe that people could switch their politics just for YouTube. I watched it happen at Gamergate. I watched it happen now. She was not, I wouldn't say she's a right wing, but she was not left wing. The whole thing is an act. And so it happens all the time. People pretend to be right, but it just, hey, where are the views coming in? I saw Ian Miles Chung do it. I've seen everybody do it.
And I cried because it's just shocking. And that's all I'm going to say.
Oz was in an untenable position against Blair. Blair's channel from mid-2022 to 2023 was getting around 10 million views a month. With her frequent sponsorships, her earnings could be well over 6 figures. Oz's channel was getting at most 200,000 views, or around 1/50th of Blair's. This was made worse when he shifted his efforts to work on her channel.
So he took more of the loan, even though he made less money? How did she fucking wing him into that?
Even this turned out to be an unstable position.
How did she fuck that guy?
Much would be true for anyone working under Illuminati. Blair had grown a reputation of producing half-decent video essays.
You know, he looks like that guy. Tell me he doesn't. He looks like the guy from that Gutfeld show. Greg Gutfeld cast. What is that? The guy has the big fucking eyes. Oh yeah, Tyrus does. Let's see. Greg Gutfeld cast. This is or writer. I think he's a writer. W-R-I-T. Writers. Yeah. No, that's Cat Tim. Maybe he got shit canned. I don't know. He's like a comedian. He's got really fucking big eyes. He's really.
Is it Joan?
He looks like it's Pat.
Go up.
But where is it?
Do they have long hair or no?
No, it's this guy right here. This guy.
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah, it's that guy, right? And then, like, this guy, that's what he reminds me. He reminds me of the guy from Gutfeld, and he's very strange looking, isn't he? It's very uncomfortable.
It turned out to be an unstable position. That much would be true for anyone working under Illuminati. Blair had grown a reputation of producing half-decent video essays. She was someone who appeared compassionate, someone who cared about injustice. The question is, what happens when you turn all of this over and realize every aspect is not only false...
Well, she wasn't that thin either.
but it is the opposite of what was being portrayed. What happens when the internet discovers something that looks innocent has been volatile the whole time? This is nitroglycerin. It feels slightly oily. It's slightly viscous. It tastes sweet. It appears unassuming. It is anything but. Nitroglycerin is a compound ready to explode. The lightest strike initiates a chain reaction.
I'm sure you all know why we're here. We are gathered here today in what might be the most comprehensive deep dive that I've done to lay to rest.
Here come the videos.
Once and for all, the pyramid-shaped, scandal-plagued global casting of Illuminati.
Is there anybody that you've seen, including Onision, that has gotten more videos made on them with more views than Blair? Onision had the record before that, but she far took it away. I never was making stuff on her 3 months ago.
You actually don't need to interact with real people ever.
Ours looks like a trans fight, I would DM.
Chud donated $5.
Thank you.
Us looks like
Being that explosions are a chain reaction, one can follow the chain back to the catalyst, nitroglycerin, hammer, balloon, needle, and Illuminati, legal. On April 20th, 2023, Blair tweeted, quote, "Not at legal editors broaching my editors to take my video style, and when they didn't give up the info, they literally copied it. And BTW, I have the messages from my editors and found an email from them too."
And this is the same thing as Happy Mind Cruel World, the exact same behavior. This is going to expose her, you know? But this time, she's not going to be able to go, "Oh, let's talk about this privately." It's not going to work.
Just changed the color from purple to blue. Huh, interesting.
The nitroglycerin bit was a bit much. You know what? I really got spaced out during it. It seemed ridiculous. Now that you mention it, I probably said, yeah, that was probably the dumbest thing I've ever seen on Joon the King, who I like very much, by the way. That was dumb.
Unquote. Below, Blair posts the email in question, except the email is asking about how to make lighter colors stick out. It was not even the same effect. Beyond these tweets pointing out how this is a non-issue, there was Legal Eagle's tweet stating that his channel had been using those two styles before she did. In his second tweet, 7 minutes later, Legal Eagle responds, quote, "I think this is a misunderstanding. Maybe don't assume ill intent next time?" Unquote. This was all it took.
That's it.
Popular content creator H Bomber Guy responded with, quote, "I take plagiarism."
I didn't know that. April 20th. So he responded first to this? So that how, because the video didn't come out till what, last year, right? Or like a year and a half ago.
Well, there's that, but he also did his own. He made his own video on.
Was he
Illuminati
already
as well.
keeping his eye on her before he did this?
Yes.
Oh, he was. Okay. But I remember once she did this, a bunch of video. This was getting reported all over the place. Before H Bomber Guy, I want to say H Bomber Guy took her on anywhere from 6 months to a year after this. Look up that video if you could, the H Bomber Guy video. I'd love to get a date because this is April 20th, Hitler's birthday.
Plagiarism really seriously, so I am interested in an explanation. What exactly is wrong here? Unquote.
Professor Hugh Fudenberg.
Professor Fudenberg has long been controversial.
A man named Hugh Fudenberg, a former immunologist who...
She just talked over somebody's documentary. By the way, she's not the only person I've seen do this.
...has been long controversial.
In 1989, he was caught up in a...
6 months later.
What's that?
December 3rd, 2023.
6 months later, when, 6 months to a year. Yeah, that's what I thought. Because I remember, boy, Blair can't get a fucking break. When anything dies down, this guy just slams her.
Bizarre lawsuit involving the Food and Drug Administration, which told him he had to stop injecting his autistic child patients with blood products.
In 1989, he was caught up in a bizarre lawsuit with the Food and Drug Administration, which told him he had to stop injecting his autistic patients with blood products.
That was from Blair's video on vaccines, spliced in with Brian Deere's documentary, the one she plagiarized. The way
that's plagiarism, fucking to a T.
H Bomber Guy discovered this was...
There's a lot of... One of the things that H Bomber... I was a little surprised with internet history or historian. That surprised me, but I think there's a lot more plagiarism than we know about online. And I bet if you picked out the content machines, that's where you'd be easiest place to find them.
Was when he was making his own video on the subject, and while doing research...
And just her luck, he's English. He probably saw that fucking... And she's older. I think he's in his 40s, right? So he probably saw that thing in 89, just remembered it. Wait a minute, I've seen this before, you know?
Found that he had already seen her
I bet that was an English-only documentary.
He's 30. He's 32.
He's 32? So. I thought he was Medicare.
H Bomber Guy.
Oh, so he must have been hanging around Medicare when he was young, because Medicare's over 40, right?
Yeah,
he was tight with
yeah.
Mediger, from what I understand. So I assume they were the same age.
Because he saw Brian Deere's documentary. He had been holding on to this information until now. This chain reaction led to The Click, Wonderstruck, Oz Media, and One Topic, all making Twitter.
Yeah, all the heroes coming out when it's easy. That's how it usually goes. The heroes come out. It's hard to be first.
Threads about the dissolution of Sad Milk and Blair, exposing her manipulative tactics through spreading of rumors.
All right, she's an ex-bomber guy. Like, now we can speak out because I'm afraid of her fans. I'm afraid somebody's gonna do mean things to me.
For control and attempting to pit one against each other. Wonderstruck even posted a photo of her room captioned with, quote,
and by the way, she's a slob. I wouldn't have put her on that hand either. But I do remember one time when she sent me a Get to the Point, you could tell that the green screen was like wrinkles because you can use a cloth for green screen. I have myself, but I used to iron it. But you could tell by looking at the background that it wasn't ironed. I remember that.
She lives like an actual monster. Her home is a mess. Like hoarder's bed. Unquote. Looking back at her social blade during this time, she had only lost 20,000 subscribers from April 20th to the 26th.
You can recover from that.
The former Sad Milk cast made their tweets from the 23rd to the 24th. However, Blair posted a response video on April 28th. On her social blade were the following
Made it
days.
worse.
She had now not only actively put a magnifying glass on her previous poor actions, she had also flat out lied throughout the video and made her case.
What do you mean? I iron my stuff. What do you mean? I was in the army. I had to iron my fucking Class A's.
It's worse. The first topic was her apology to Legal. Then she moves on to H-Bomber Guy's evidence of plagiarism.
If my wife doesn't do it for me.
Which she refutes. This is only...
Then I send it to Jeannie.
Yeah.
8 minutes into the video. The last 36 are on the former cast of Sad Milk. Here she apologizes for screaming at One Topic. Then, when discussing The Click, she uses her entire hand.
And I ironed my green screen, by the way.
She talks about The Click using slurs in the past and possibly present. The predator that was banned from his Discord.
Not
and a previous
liberal
time
enough.
of his
Not
show
woke
porn to
enough.
minors.
And let me be abundantly clear here. I am not trying to accuse the Click of pedophilia, nor do I have any reason to believe that he could be a pedophile. However,
Jesus Christ.
Cultivated an environment that was a breeding ground for inappropriate behavior with minors to occur.
Next on the chopping block was Wonderstruck. She brings forward their history while not mentioning her intention to
be this video still up?
Be his landlord. She discusses how she repossessed the BMW, talks about the conflict between them and their dogs, and stated he was fired for not meeting deadlines.
I can do this!
While also not mentioning he was fired before his deadline extension. The last bit about Wonder airs out his mental health with the angle of showing it out of concern, and then she addresses the images of the messy room.
Furthermore, the photo he shows is a photo of a room that wasn't lived in by anyone in the house.
Finally, Blair discusses Oz, disappointed that they could not mend the relationship. And while grateful at all that he had contributed and the memories they made, she expresses that that ship has sailed.
I am disappointed in my behavior, and I hope that I can learn from all of this. I want to own up to my faults and take responsibility.
She would launch into like 1 million lawsuits after this, making it worse. That's great.
For my actions. Furthermore, I want to take responsibility for my own involvement with a crowd I am happy to no longer associate with.
Sad Milk. The invested time, money, energy. Everything had its returns paid.
She probably thought to herself, this will put them to pasture. This will be over. This will be done. They're fucked. I guarantee you that's what she was thinking.
In Rada. As Blair had escalated this drama to YouTube, the former members released responses to this in not so quick succession.
Yeah, and now it's a content mill. She's created her own content mill.
On May 2nd, The Click uploaded his response, clarifying that he was asleep when the Predator was banned from his Discord. His lack of understanding of the culture around slurs in the English language, and Blair's part in it all.
Before we move on, I'm just gonna point out some funny hypocrisy. She said she would never be friends with some—
This is the only guy that was close, like, did she sleep with this guy too? He's the only one that was close to a man.
Someone that used that language. Yet she regularly played games with me as a friend during this time, where I allegedly kept on saying these things. Which one is it? I don't think you can have both.
Revealed in this video was not only Blair's actions of paying an employee $200 to find instances of click saying slurs, but also her alt account attached to the campaign.
Technically asking them to leave, I guess. It's probably worse. Going back to the rumor machine, here's the same chat room again. Here is the same account, Doobieschmerz on Twitter. This was an account I remember distinctly from 2020, 2021 that was relentlessly harassing myself, my friends.
It's fucking Blair the whole time. That's so funny.
My colleagues, my streaming colleagues, past colleagues, ex-Sad Milk members, community members, you name it. You name it.
On May 11th, Wonderstruck released his video, which was more than twice as long as the clicks. It was
What is with the fucking hair, really?
Here that he discusses his history with Blair, from Sandmilk, moving in with her and Oz when they were together, to eventually trying to become her tenant, to him getting fired and getting the BMW repossessed, and more recently the airing out of his mental health. It is important to note that Blair also stated that Wonderstruck was fired because of an inappropriate forum comment.
And the comment I made was supposed to be grounds
he called somebody fat.
For termination. I'd like to reiterate that means a total loss of income to a person. This was along the lines of the comment that I made. If I could be an animal for a day,
I have to be honest with you, all you guys should be ashamed of yourself. To let, you had no self-respect to let her push you around like this. This could have been nipped in the bud, but none of you had any nuts to stand up to her.
I would be a furry, and my favorite food would be ass.
Before ending the video with an interview with Oz, Wonder clarifies how messy Blair was, and that the one photo shared was not.
I gotta be honest with you, that's just funny. It's got nothing to do with shit.
Of an isolated.
And she did all this bad shit. She took my car. She abused me. She fired me over a stupid comment, and her room's a mess.
Incident.
These are the living conditions of Oz Media's home after Blair moved back in. Conditions he was embarrassed by. Boxes, trash, cups of mold, all sent to me again 2 years after I left Colorado.
I even remember on my 22nd birthday, I had asked, like, hey, can we please get like the kitchen and living room cleaned up so we actually have like a space to exist? And that was like my birthday present for that year.
While there were no additional response videos in May, coverage of Blair had picked up tremendously. She was kicked out of one of the podcasts she was part of and made a community post stating that she was taking these allegations seriously. By that, she means sending a cease and desist to Oz and Wonderstruck. In June, One Topic made his own video on Blair, which was comparatively short.
Since fucking fundraisers, he's doing fundraisers on Illuminati. I remember this is like gold. You didn't even have to know her, be connected to her to get Illuminati money.
This existed more so to corroborate the other stories and establish his own. The key point is corroboration. Blair had her claims against the former Sad Milk cast, but the Sad Milk cast had their own retorts and painted a clear picture of what Blair claimed, and directly and indirectly supported one another against her. As possibly her only defense, she continued action on the legal front, filing a civil protection order against
her. Fucking last name is totally fucking public. If you write it in Google, just write Blair and it auto completes. I don't know why. But you know what? What Joon's probably afraid of is they'll go after private information.
It wasn't him who blocked it out. It was a previous YouTuber who covered it. So he was just taking documents.
Yeah, but I mean, she told me her last name. She said it. I mean,
and Oz and Wonderstruck, which failed to go through.
It's one of the things you could do. You be real quick. Tell people your last name, and when they use it on a YouTube video, try to take the video down. You know.
Blair later tried restraining orders, which also failed to go through. Still in June, Cruel World released her video covering the aforementioned videos on Blair and her own history with her. It is difficult to say what action was the most destructive to her viewer base.
That's something I want to see. What's his name? Happy Mind, Cruel World. Is that right? Is that what it's called? She said something to me that I want to see.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, Happy Mind, Cruel World. Let's see, Illuminati. Let's see what the last one. Fall Illuminati is a year ago. She said something very nice to me, if I remember correctly. Did she? Did my story cease and desist? Clicks for so sad. Mark, legal eagle. Blair. She made. How much money did she make on this? 1.5 million. My story cease and desist one. But she said something to me in here, which is kind of cute. But it's only for a second. But I don't know the stamp, so I think it was at the very end. Let me check it real quick.
Transcript.
Yeah, we're doing this one real quick.
Why not?
but she said she was like, you know, like I was telling Verse, like he's like, I don't like her. I was like, why don't you like her? It's like, well, she's like super sensitive. I was like, I think she's one of these people that give up all the vibes of being a phony and isn't, you know, because she was like really apologetic to me when it wasn't really all that necessary. I'll be honest with you, but I can't find it. I wish I knew the timestamp. I should check.
Well, check the transcript, as I've told you.
Oh yeah, that's right. I hate this thing. I can't figure it out. Transcript. Yes. Okay, we're getting it now. Getting searching now. Hold on. Okay, I always forget. I forget this thing. All right, then I go Control F. There it is. Here it goes. Only 15 minutes in. Hold on. Can I just? All you have to do is click on that, right?
Well, it looks like it was mentioned 16 times.
Oh really?
Roughly. There might be more,
that's why. Okay, here we go. Hold on.
Collaborated with different YouTubers. Most
and the guy, her eyes freak people out. Not that there's anything wrong with them, but they're just very big.
notably Tommy C's news channel SFTP, where she played a character called Sarah J. Warren. The letters of her name spelling out SJW, which is supposed to stand.
You know what it is? Like you see the move that Blair did with the glasses to do that whole thing. You know, you didn't really like. She was kind of a born actress, and I remember she was never as good after her pilot. Her pilot was hysterical. I can't believe we lost it. Right? I mean, I think at one point she like jumped on the desk and like fell off of it or something like that. She did something really great. It was super fucking funny. She beat Nick Diorio out for the part. I don't know if you know that. I chose Nick over. I chose her over Nick. Yeah, I did. And Nick said something really good too. But I got to be honest, Blair's is better. Blair's is better. So I thought, all right. And I thought it would be cool that because there's always, whenever you watch the news, there's always a male and a female, right? So I thought that worked better than like two fat guys, you know?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But yeah, like she was really funny. And you see with the glasses, like she had, and I bet that frustrated her when she took off on YouTube and she didn't get to use any of those skills that she had.
For social justice.
Sunscreen was better, yeah, true.
Justice warrior, where Blair was supposed to play an over-the-top social justice warrior character on the show to make fun of social justice warriors.
Sarah J. Warren is unapologetically feminist, and if they don't like it, then I would love to drink their overprivileged male tears, okay?
Which is a stark contrast to the content that Blair makes on her channel today, and the podcast she did for the past
now she's an SJW. You know,
years, the leftist mafia. So for a lot of fans, it was kind of shocking to see her so overtly play a character making fun of social justice warriors. The main takeaway here being, does Illuminati just stand for nothing? Of course.
Yes, like most YouTubers.
Your views.
See, I think like her sensitivity and all that stuff, or empathy and all, I think it's totally fucking on the level. That's the feeling I got. That it's annoying. It might come off as like virtue signaling, but I think she actually feels that way. I think that's like, she's like the real deal. Do you ever meet that one fucking Catholic or Christian that's actually the real deal and practice what they preach? They are out there.
Change over time, but when it becomes a pattern where your views change just to fit your platform and brand whenever it benefits you, it's just you not standing for anything, which is the complete opposite.
Me and Augie should have had 1.5 million. We get the story. It doesn't pay to be first.
Of, I don't know, literally your entire brand and platform and everything I thought Illuminati stood for. Blair was given admin access to Tommy C's news channel, but it was his channel, not Blair's. Basically, Tommy was the owner and Blair was the collaborator. It's been alleged that Blair left the news channel because she got mad at Tommy C for making a fat joke about another news host on the channel.
She comes up to me and she goes, Tommy, I have a problem. I had called Rico fat.
But on this news channel, Blair also seemingly participated in fat jokes.
As much as she, you know, perpetuated the jokes of him being fat, she couldn't handle fat jokes about him.
Apparently he's fat.
Cut that out. Don't cut it out.
Wait a minute.
Comrade.
Do not cut that out, comrade. Leave that.
There she is.
Comedy golden, you know it.
So it seems like there was this sort of cultural norm of
that was the trip. That was the trip.
Yeah.
Right there.
On making fun of everyone, and then all of a sudden
You're
Illuminati
shifty, John.
just decided she didn't
Shifty Mick.
agree with one joke and cut everyone off, which I think is a little bit too convenient. I think there was maybe
Shifty beat poppin' Mick.
a different reason why she left the group. I think she started to decide that she didn't want to be associated anymore with the channel and the character she was playing as she was branching off and rebranding her own personal channel. And it just became a...
Well, I remember, that's right. It's just, with the Keemstar lawsuit that was coming, she said she had to get rid of that because the Keemstar lawsuit. I was like, I don't think that's going to come up. She did ask me to delete it before, and I said no. She didn't freak out. It's like, I really don't think it's going to come up, Blair. I think it's just going to be whether he defamed you or not.
Convenient excuse when Tommy C made this fat joke, but that's just my opinion. I think personally, she didn't want her character on this show, which is anti-social justice warrior, coming to light when her main...
It wasn't anti, it was just fucking funny.
...channel starts taking off because she knew it would likely cause her controversy. And I think that because when she left, not only did Blair disassociate with Tommy C and the entire group, but because she had admin access to Tommy C's channel, she also went into his channel and deleted all of his videos with her in it and with her social justice warrior character in it. But in the meantime, that deleted all of Tommy C's revenue and all of his work.
Nah, it wasn't revenue. The channel was long dead by then, in fairness. But I guess she's guessing. It wasn't a big channel
that he put
in. I'm sure it's an honest mistake because she thinks I told the fat joke. I actually didn't. I would have liked to. I wish I would.
For those videos. And she clearly did not care about anyone but herself and protecting.
Maybe I should come up with a fucking t-shirt. I haven't made a new t-shirt in a while. Fucking shifty.
You still need to bring the sports one back for me.
Oh, that's right. Well, talk to me offline. Talk to you offline all the time. Yell at me then, not during the show. Jesus. Stop hogging.
No, I have to.
Stop hogging off all the airtime, Jeannie.
God, you're fat,
with your petty complaints.
Booty.
Well, I might have to do something about it. Okay. Not thinking that you would delete my videos.
Also, I want to note from the 2 or 3 hour phone call Blair and I had, I remember her saying that mainly Tommy C and Tipster were out to get her, that they make fun of people's weight. And that
Tipster making fun of people's weight. Wow, they make it like, Blair, this guy's a fat ass, and the other one's not too skinny either.
They want me to call you fat.
It's so fucking
call you
funny.
fat.
Weight,
yeah, call
her
me fat.
appearance,
Okay.
which I remember feeling really
You're a
bad
fatty,
for her
fat fatty.
I'm a big fatty. Now send a donation.
At the time during our phone call. Something I find really interesting is that throughout Blair's time on YouTube, she's mainly long-term friends with men on the platform. Like initially it was...
That's true. It was all guy. She was in the boys club. She made it. She was totally welcome. It's like, it honestly, it used to kind of piss me off when girls would come in, and that's one of the Australian YouTuber that I couldn't stand, and she's saying commentary was a boys club, and I used to piss me off because it just wasn't true. But you did have to be able to hang like the boys, so they're held up to the same standard.
Tipster and Tommy C and that whole group, and then it switched to Oz Media, Wonderstruck Guy, and the Milkmen. But at the same time, she doesn't just become friends with these male creators. Blair wants to control and dominate these male creators on the platform. But if any of...
She's right. And it just never was going to work with us losers. It's going to work with those losers.
These male colleagues that Blair...
Twiz, yeah, Red Dog West. Exactly. Twiz would make fucking comments like that. And it really pissed me off because it wasn't fucking true. It's just that there's not as many women that are interested in this shit. But like the guys, there's like a hang standard. You got to be able to hang. Jeannie's done fine. I didn't take. I didn't take you because
you actually don't need to interact with real people ever.
Because you called Ginny. Because Ginny called you
donated $5 because Johnny called you fat.
Yes, that's right. So, but it's you got to be able to hang. You can't be overly sensitive. You can't be more like, well, women this and women that. No, you have to be able to hang with the boys. And the boys have to be able to hang with the boys. So it's the same standard. If you're a fucking like slobbering autist like Smaggle Taggle, that'll get them a call. Yeah, like, you know, the people might not want to hang out with you. I just want to laugh at you.
Worked with, lived with, basically controlled, ever crossed or disobeyed her, they became a part of her alleged hit list that Blair had, and that at one point I was apparently also part of, and will probably become a part of after this video.
Anybody criticized needs to be silenced or put in line or smeared.
Where you're her target and she is actively trying to ruin you and your reputation in any way possible. And Blair goes to great lengths to try and take down criticism of her. She's been known to abuse the copyright system to take down critical videos and has even gotten
I really don't like the way she does it. That's just a video criticism, right? It's really, I don't like her delivery at all. I just don't like it. I'm not going to dump her. I would probably be I'll be honest with you. I'm totally sweeping for her right now. I'd be a lot crueler, but she was very nice to me and said some nice things, so I'm not going to do it. And I think it's just the way she is. I don't think it's like her trying to be weird or anything. It's just like her.
Fan art to get critical videos taken down of her.
Now, there was nothing in the video that Blair could copyright strike herself. So you want to know what she does? She decided to abuse the copyright strike system by contacting the artist who made fan art of Illuminati.
You actually don't need to interact
for
with
the thumbnail of his video, and she got.
I can hang real low.
I can hang real low.
There you go.
Right, strike the video and get it taken down. And the way she contacted this artist was just very manipulative, because she referred to Nick's channel as a hate channel, and she was just letting this artist know that her work was being used so that way the artist can protect their work.
That particular video was uploaded by a person named Nicholas Diorio, and in that particular video he came into an agreement with that artist that if he removed the thumbnail with the fan art, that artist would take down the copyright strike, which makes sense because the art isn't in the video anymore, so legally there is no copyright. Makes sense. So what does Blair do? She doesn't let it go. Instead, she goes to someone whose clip is used in the video.
I remember everybody waiting for her video. Like they were just like, everybody's like on pins and needles waiting for her. She took her time with it, if I remember correctly.
In a fair use way. And she messages that person and says, hey, your clip is used in this video. You should copyright strike this.
It's a couple months after the legal stuff. That was 420. This is July 26th.
Yeah, she took her time. So she took her time. There was like, and I think if I remember correctly, she singled that she didn't know if she wanted to do it. And then she did, came late. But everybody was on pins and needles for her.
This video.
Now, the person she contacted was somebody by the name of Valerie, and
yeah, she was in our crew. I don't know what happened to her.
It was because there was footage of her vlog used in the video.
That person messages Blair back and says, no, I'm pretty sure that's fair.
She wasn't like a talent or anything, but she was like in the fucking the boys club as well. I do think she got in a fight and with them. I don't remember the details. It wasn't with me. But I mean, a lot of guys get run out. Ask Rico.
So Blair has a little bit of a tendency to be relentless. But it wasn't just Blair's relentless attitude that caused her to go from Sarah J. Warren to Blair's on. There was a tremendous...
Yeah, she should have said her fucking full name. I'm going to see something else. Let's see. No, C, not 3. Okay, 15. Let's see if we go later. I sent her a screenshot. Okay, now I mentioned 2 hours later.
And I sent her a screenshot about that. I even sent her a screenshot of Tommy C's video, but I asked her if she wanted me to make a comment on that video. Again, she had convinced me that Tommy C was attacking her appearance, and that thumbnail on that particular video did kind of make it look like
I was.
He was making fun of her appearance.
I really didn't. It's just a bad picture of her where she's put some weight on because all that YouTube money tastes great. But I really, yeah, I was. She's right.
I went through and watched that video. In that particular video, there was nothing bad that Tommy C said about Blair. So again, I think Blair fed me a complete lie in that circumstance, and I empathized with her, felt bad for her because I thought she was being attacked for her appearance by this group of people when it was a complete lie. I want to apologize for Tommy C for thinking that you were going after someone for her appearance for years when that was just a complete lie I was being fed. But I think her trying to be my friend, saying she realized the errors.
We were trying to tell her she's not being your friend. Don't get in a car. She's trying to fucking quell this for her own good. It's damage control, but they didn't. She didn't listen. But I think I honestly think that was sincere. Do you think that was sincere?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was.
No, I think
yeah.
so. The only she stares. I understand the staring, but it's really like, whoa.
It's not my thing.
Or just staring.
But I think that's just. I think it's just who she is. I don't think it's like a fucking thing, and it works for her. So great.
Messaging me in a friendly way was 100% an act.
Blair inspired. Blair inspired her. She really loved Blair.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, she had such a like impact, but it wasn't enough. It's so weird.
Because a few days after it worked and I had deleted everything, she stopped messaging me completely.
Of course.
And went on acting like I never existed.
Of course.
And I think the reason why is she never anticipated that Tipster and other people were going to screen record my video. So thank you. I think she thought she was going to get away with it all and that the entire controversy was going to be deleted forever. And when Tipster and other people reposted it, she realized that she wasn't just going to get away with it. And being pissed off, she just cut contact with me.
Yep.
Whether it was her video or sending out the cease and desist, whatever it was, viewership fell drastically, down 95% from April 2023 to August of the same year. Within this period, Blair was still posting regularly. From September 16th to August 1st, she earned $2,300. This was not bad compared to your average YouTube channel, until you factor in that a year ago she made $47,000 in the same period last year. Also not mentioned are the employees kept on payroll. This was hardly the only blow to her finances, as the legal fees she would incur would no doubt increase. But there was a solution. She could foreclose on Oz's house to get some of the money owed quicker. This is why on September 16th, 2023, Oz made a video talking about the foreclosure, the GoFundMe to pay for it, and an upcoming video on Blair of sizable length.
I've put a lot of things in my life on hold to produce this video.
I get the feeling that she knew financial shit a lot better than these dopey guys.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Up with nearly 110 pages.
They like took advantage of their ignorance.
Years older than this guy.
Yeah.
Roughly, she's because he's 25 now. So yeah.
Of a manuscript which details as much of what I can. And let me tell you something. Converting this monstrosity into a video with its accompanying 5,000 screenshots has been one hell of a monumental task for me, a one-person team to embark on.
Though the GoFundMe will surpass the goal of $4,000, it would not be enough for the upcoming lawsuit. Oz was made aware of Blair's legal filings on September 27th. She was suing Oz Media, Wonderstruck, and a different employee known as Felix the Kit Kat, who was paid to dig up dirt on the clique, but also informed the clique of such actions. Though Blair's channel already appeared to be irrecoverable by late 2023, there were two aspects that solidified this. One was the ongoing lawsuit. Where other creators could work their way through controversies, Blair's ongoing lawsuit was a looming reminder of her controversies. One that has the added element of suing the weakest parties in what appears to be an act of revenge rather than redemption. This emphasized
redemption. It didn't even make money sense. You got to think about that. There comes a point where suing these people is not worth. Its juice is not worth the squeeze, but she still did it. So that shows you how really crazy she was, because it's like you know cutting off your nose to spite your face.
Is the conflicting images of Illuminati, the righteous expose channel, and Blair, the litigious manipulator. The second aspect is more straightforward in the fact that her videos are passable, and once exposed to that fact, it is harder to look at them the same way. It is this feeling and grander concept of plagiarism that
I was happy for her this year, but I always thought their videos sucked. I mean, this wasn't my thing, but I don't think they were supposed to be great. I think they were just supposed to make money.
H-Bomber Guy tapped.
I went with you guys. I do not have a problem with that. I don't care. But you don't get artist points. That's the only thing.
In his video, Plagiarism and YouTube. While Blair's section is only around 40 minutes of his nearly 4-hour-long video, and it hammers in the issues with Blair's content, demeanor, response video, and the problem with content mills like hers.
Blair watched a documentary and then downloaded it and used it to make her own. In the first 20 minutes, she plays a chunk of the documentary.
This guy almost got a gay guy to kill himself. He's so fucking good at it.
Or just quotes it 25 times. More than once a minute, you're hearing something Brian Deere said from his mouth or hers.
That was the same documentary that H-Bomber Guy covered in his video on vaccines, and the one he sourced his tweets towards Blair from. H-Bomber Guy's video sits at 36 million views.
36 million. And when he put out this video, all the SJWs took over fucking YouTube drama.com. Because I guess he's associated with that word. I was talking to Beckett, and he was saying that he put Internet Historian and Beckett and all these other guys in there to bust their plagiarism, and then threw that guy in because if he had just done that guy, James Somerton, it would have been that. It would have been part of this. He said it was perfectly constructed, this video. And think about it. Was it like 3-4 hours long? And people were just like glued to it? Like, Jesus Christ, that guy is fucking good at this shit. You know?
Tommy.
Yeah.
Is Blair allowed to come over to your house?
Blair? I would like to talk. No, but I'd like to talk to her. But like, this is the fantasy. Blair, I want to talk to you, the person I knew. All right, what happened? Why did you do this? Like, why? We were friends. And I imagine, Tommy, I don't know. I just got out of control and it just kind of got on each other. All right, here's the reality. Like, that's the fantasy. This is reality. Fuck you. That's what it's going to be more like. Fuck off. Then she calls the police for harassing her or some shit like that. But yeah, I do. There's a part of me that wants to say, what happened? Why did you do this? You accomplished more than I ever could have in months. Was Rip Wilson around? No, he's drunk.
Views. Being that Blair's section is relatively early on in the video, undoubtedly, many new people were given the tools to understand why her videos are poorly made. Only 3 days later, on his second channel, H-Bomber Guy released a 20-minute video solely on Blair. This covers how her videos were sometimes built on misinformation, which makes the point of the video moot and damaging. In similar fashion to how he exposed Blair's plagiarism of Brian Deere's documentary, he shows how she did it with documentaries covering the Fire Festival. This video, while receiving less viewership than his plagiarism video, was still more viewed than even her most viewed video, and through examining many of Blair's videos, he is correct. This is easiest to explain when starting from the beginning.
Here, I'm going to skip ahead. You see, there's something funny with Ice Poseidon. I'm skipping ahead to that.
Way back in his first few YouTube videos, he's given multiple tutorials on how to scam other RuneScape players out of their high-level armor. He himself has 3 separate tutorials on how to pull off these types of scams.
That is a video on Ice Poseidon. If she did minimal research into the game, looked at the comments, or even searched the value of the in-game items, she would have found in Scam Video 1, Ice is overpaying for the armor he is quote-unquote scamming. In Scam Video 2, he is making players open a chest for him. In Scam Video 3, he is trading rare gilded armor for basic rune.
So he did an expose video on Ice Poseidon. Everybody knows that guy's shady as hell, right? But these are like fake how to scam. These are totally fake. They're supposed to be funny videos.
She fell for his ancient bait. In this same video,
he's fucking 10 years old. She fell for it.
Yeah.
It's fucking funny. It's just nice. It was like, this is before IRL Ice Poseidon or IP2 or any of that. This is just him fucking around making YouTube videos.
She states,
he was banned from Twitch altogether in 2017 for having someone call
He's shifty, John. Shifty.
in a bomb threat on a plane he was boarding.
This is also false. Ice Poseidon would have gone to jail if this were the case. What really happened was that he said his gate number on stream. This is all to say her videos are shallow in research, in her own interest of the subjects she covers, and in her analysis if there is any to be found. That last statement, at times, can be taken quite literally.
But what about other storms? And why does this keep happening?
In this December 28th, 2023 video that is still up at the time of writing, Blair's narration cuts out for 5 minutes as H Bomber Guy pointed out on his Twitter. Past December 2023, her channel would hit a new viewership low. Her monthly views were dipping below 200,000. A year prior, if a single video only got 200,000, it would be considered a failure. While one can attribute H Bomber Guy to this decrease, Blair only uploaded 5 videos in 2024, which is the more likely cause to this steep decline. With her channel now dead, the only evidence of her existence online would be the ongoing lawsuit. Month after month, there was very little in terms of updates. It was not until June 1st that there was a major update, through Oz. In this just over hour-long video, Oz states that the lawsuit has cost $40,000 so far. This is why he launched a second GoFundMe. This was a legal fund for not just Oz, but also the other defendants involved in the case. Being that the legal process is slow, especially considering Blair's failures to substantiate her claims in her lawsuit, meaning that she had to continually amend her side, allowed only by a very generous judge. Overall, Oz describes the progress of the lawsuit and Blair's claims, and makes a clear intention that because of stressors in an outside lawsuit, settling would be optimal if they cannot get the case dismissed. This seemed to be more and more the case. They could not even get Felix's case dismissed, which was due to an alleged breach of contract when he came forward with the information that he was paid to dig up dirt on the click. Even though that happened before he signed an NDA, was employed by a separate company of hers, and it was arguable that the payment was not even a business transaction. Blair's lawsuit is absurd.
In 2020, Blair had revealed to me that she had used a service to scrub her Twitter of all and any inappropriate or cancelable language that she may have tweeted. Evidence of this can actually be found by the fact that there's a massive removal of tweets on a single day shown by her social blade. As I've come to learn, that service that Blair used to mass delete tweets doesn't scan media or screenshots. Blair famously went after Click for using the R word 14 years ago. Blair at one point has stated that the word has never been in her vocabulary, and that
bullshit.
Even with 10 years of time, it's inexcusable that he would use this word. Blair can be seen in this tweet using the exact word in question that she condemns and damns others for using, only 3 years prior to her stating that word was never in my vocabulary.
While Oz failed to link to this tweet, it very much exists and is still up. The reason this lie and hypocrisy matters is because of what Blair alleges in the lawsuit.
Blair asked Felix to find Mark Drek saying the R slur in Sad Milk's raw audio.
What to the grown people saying, you say the R slur, you say the F slur, we turn into children. You say a bad word. Yeah. Teacher, you say a bad word. You know? Hey, isn't he spammed that like 14 times? Where's fucking what's his name? Yeah, Clip Hanks. He keeps spamming that. I'm like, fucking, it's not, like it's some kind of fucking own. Yeah, Perm. And he's in the server, clip him there too. Anybody has the name Hanks, clip him in the server.
On it, so.
Yeah.
On 20, defendant.
I know it's like a long spam, but I mean, Jesus Christ.
Felix then asserts that.
I'll read it for you. Let's not forget, you catfished by a 17-year-old boy, and everybody, including myself, looked the other way and thought it was fucked up. Right, I said that. Yeah, I know. It's not that big a fucking own. I'm sorry.
Blair, though she publicly disapproved.
No, clipped. No, he's clipped permanently now because he's fucking spamming it. That means he's a weirdo. What possible conversation could we have? The same, like all these people are like, why don't you talk? Like everybody's fucking retarded, you know.
Proves of the R slur, uses it in private. 121. This statement carries a
How is it a slur if you don't know you're being slurred?
Defamatory meaning because it implies that Blair is both a hypocrite and a bigot. Her words, not mine.
In a short update Oz released in October, Oz stated that the negotiations have failed, and the cost had inflated to $80,000, even though the lawsuit had yet to enter discovery. Things
How much you want to bet she's broke now, too?
Were looking grim. Then there was one final update, released at the start of 2020.
Paying that fucking mortgage.
Like pulling an I'm Alex.
I bet she's broke. I bet you, oh man, or she had to sell a house or something.
Blair and I have agreed to settle this matter confidentially through mediation.
Like, I mean, let's say I put a little money, like $2-3 million in the bank, right? And I want to sue this person because they did this, you know, or they did that. And lawyer beats it down to get a count. It's like, this is going to cost you around $500,000 to $700,000 when it's all over. It's going to take fucking 35% of your wealth. Fuck it, I'll let it slide. You know?
The lawsuit has been dismissed against all parties without any admission of fault by any party. As a part of the non-disclosure agreement, it should be known that Blair will not be sharing her side of the story behind this dispute, nor will I. No one.
I gotta be honest with you, I can't blame this guy for taking this deal because it was going on for fucking years. It was nothing. So all I gotta do is not make videos on her and then go ahead. It sucks that you get kind of your free speech curbed a bit with the NDA, but yeah, it's like the madness had to stop.
One should contact either of us further about this case or ask us to comment on it, or each other. As I have stated previously, anyone following me should never make threatening remarks to anyone involved in this case in a public or private forum.
Yeah, please teach me. Oh sir.
That
threatening remarks are illegal. Thanks for telling me.
Was it. The lawsuit was over. But the truth is, Blair is still out there. And so is the belief that with her managerial skills, she could survive on the platform.
After that, she's going to start another channel using an AI voice model in order to keep doing these same.
A lot of people have been saying that.
Kind of videos, but start fresh and hope people don't connect her to it. That's my guess. Because before all of this came to light, she was getting like 100 to 300k views per video.
This is Thinkology. It is her channel.
Oh, wow.
Thinkology launched late 2021 and never picked up. The most popular video out of 47 got 67,000 views. This, compared to Illuminaughtii, puts it in the bottom 12% of videos. And if compared by the top 3 that sits at 15,000 views, not a single video on her channel sits below that number. Blair began—
See, she didn't realize that it was right, like a lot of the shit, it's right place, right time. You know?
And creating video essays in a time they were in high demand, and that demand was not being met. She cast a wide net with her wide range of videos. Because of her consistency, she was able to keep this audience, gaining more and more views, likely due to habit-forming viewership rather than the quality of her videos. But now with that momentum gone, her videos cannot stand by themselves. Any video done on the same topic with any significant research or captivating perspective can overtake any of hers. There are channels that only upload once a year, if even that get over 1 million views monthly. Illuminaughtii, even with a massive catalog of 644,000, barely reaches 100,000 a month. The chances of her replicating her tremendous success now are unlikely, as the elements of her initial success are no longer there.
Bingo.
Gone now, and possibly forever, was a job.
You know, I gotta be honest with you, and maybe you can sit there and laugh at me and say, there is something tragic about that. I do, when I hear about that, I do, like, she deserved everything. But there is a part of me like, wow, Blair, like that's why I kind of want to talk to her. Like, why? But I bet to this day she doesn't think she did a thing wrong. It was everybody else. Yeah. It was those guys. Everybody's out to screw her. Like, I didn't want this. Like, when as far as like, people that have gone on to bigger and better things, or even people that were like adjacent to me that got like Willie Mack and Augie and stuff like that. Like, it was always like super great to watch them. And Illuminaughtii was like at one time, like, I was the most proud about her because she was outgrowing everybody. It was 1.7 million. Like, Nick's really good, but he's probably not going to hit 1 million, with the type of content that he does. You need him in 1 million to make money. But I mean, it's amazing to me that, like people who come to Shopping Point, they become doctors, got married, started businesses. I mean, Jeff owned his own house before he was 30. You like all these like fucking really cool things, and some people came YouTubers, and I feel great about that. That was like a good thing. I hope when you guys all grow up and you remember my fat ass when I'm dead. But I just it's too bad that I can't feel that way about Blair. It just sucks.
That earned her.
Yeah, it probably was like Mr. Like that's one of the things that all used to say used to burn my ass. He goes, yeah, you think you predict everything ahead of time. So what about Blair? Ha ha ha. And I remember fucking Bobax and Augie laughing at me. It did bother me because I gotta admit, I didn't pick up a thing. I didn't pick up a thing on Chud first either.
Over $1 million a year. Blair was at the top only to be brought down by the trap she set, the people she tried to control, and the history she tried to erase.
All right, we've come to that time. Load it up. Here it is. This is your shot. I mean, you can call back another time. It's not like I'm not going to let you. But today, I am going to make a rule set, but I'm also going to play by your rules myself. In other words, if you give me any respect, I will totally give you the same respect. If you're going to troll or call me a pedo or anything like that, well, fine. But here are the rules as follows. Number one, you cannot ask me. I said my entire video series on Chud is being why I don't trust him. Those are the reasons that I won't talk to him. So why won't you talk to Chud? You'll get it instantly hung up on. Instantly. Like that. Okay? You have to pick one topic. Example, Turkey Tom, Bowbacks, something I said. If you're going to accuse me of something, have a timestamp. I'll fucking concede to it right there and then. So that's the rules. If you break them, get snippy with me, just totally bad faith or scream or yell. I don't need to do this. Doesn't mean that no fucking skin off my back. So pop on in. Yes, we did cull a bunch of people. People are calling him a pedophile and saying I said my dick pic. It's the same thing. Like, it's so much weird how these guys, all those lefty losers on Chud's side, are exactly like Andy Worski's side. You know, peeing on fucking kids. That was 5 years ago. Now I'm sending dick pics to 14-year-olds. You know, so this is your chance right now. You've had an hour to get clips, everything. Well, I'll be asking you here. It'll work like this. Do you want to debate me over the Chud thing? Yes. Pick one subject, and then I'm going to say, will you play by the rules? If you say yes, we go. Then I'll let you go first.
Somebody asked what counts as being snippy. Well,
what's that? Well, I mean, come on. Use your fucking. Yeah, it is vague, I admit. But I mean, well, if you get me, you get me. If you're funny, I'll probably let you go. Hellbent's first. All right. Here we go. Hellbent will be the first one. Hellbent, how are you? Hellbent.
Hello?
Hey, you there?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Okay. Are you here to debate me over Chud?
Oh, sure, yes.
Okay. Pick the topic. The single one, because I don't want people like flipping around and changing over it all the time.
All right. I have a theory and I have a question.
No. You're choosing. You're choosing. Now you just want to ask me a question, correct? One question.
I will ask you. I would like to.
All right, hold on. Jesus, Hellbent, you can't do that. You're going to answer me a question, correct?
Yes.
And you'll play by the rules, yes or no?
Yes, I will play by the rules.
Go ahead, ask your question. That's what we're going to do to everybody. I just want to give an example. I made an example of you. Go ahead, ask your question.
So I have a question in regard to what you said earlier in this stream, I believe. Mm-hmm. It was about how you told somebody else to not talk to Aiden. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Would you not say that is an example of snaky behavior?
What's that? No. Because I told him he was I don't think so, because I think Aiden was being a snake to this particular person.
Okay, so if, for example, like if you are friends, you're friends with Matt Pitt and Core, right? So if Matt told you, hey, don't speak to Core because I think he's just, actually a snaky, shifty fuck. Would that not feel weird to you being put in that middle position?
I'd ask them to back it up.
So because your statement was that you told that person, I mean, I think everyone has a pretty good guess of who that person is.
It was easy to back it up. His whole history is easy to back up. He's never been trustworthy. You can go back all the fucking, he's never been a trustworthy guy. He got a pass when he was a kid because he was a kid. He was a teenager. But I mean, like, look at the situation. Like during election day, we got along real great. And I even said, oh boy, we're all grown up now. You're not like you used to be. It's really great. I'm glad you're not hanging around that commie Jeff Holiday. And it was a really good time. And then next he's hanging around people that are entertaining me sending dick pics. So
to be clear, I'm not
no, I know, but I'm answering the best I can.
No. I actually, I'm not even going to dispute Aiden being shifty. He's a shifty Jew.
I'm not saying
I've got
that.
the pass to
I'm
say
not
that.
saying that.
I'm saying that.
All
I've got
right,
the pass
that's
for
you're
that.
Jewish. Well, I'm not saying that.
But it just seems
he's a shifty YouTuber is what he is. What?
It just seems odd to me that because clearly, like, well, I just presume that the person you were talking about was Nick. It just seems odd that you would take it upon yourself to tell a mutual friend.
Do you think it would? First of all, I was done with him at the time. He just didn't know it. I'd make a federal case of it. Do you think it's kind of shady to warn somebody about your concerns? And it's not like Nick wasn't aware of them.
I think obviously you're more than welcome to bring your concerns to this other person. I suppose the reason why I wanted to question you on this is because your phrasing was, "I told him not to talk to you," and
yeah, I said. I'll tell you what. I'll tell you. Everybody knows who it is. He told me something, and I said, "Expect to see it in your next exposed video." That's exactly what I said.
I suppose my point is, like, it depends on what your intentions and expectations
My
are.
intention was only somebody I've known for the better part of 7 years, and somebody I've known that's been shifty in the past. That's it. And I just reminded him of it. Whether he took the advice, I don't know. Something tells me he did, and that's why he's upset.
Mm-hmm. It's actually ironic that I'm even bringing this question to you, because I've it was quite a different situation, but I've been in a drama where I told somebody not to talk to Aiden
and they did,
basically as part of a bit.
Well, that's what you get for hanging around this hellbent. That's what you get for hanging around this crew.
Well, no, I mean, to be fair, that was like part of a bit that kind of somewhat backfired. Actually, got yelled by Chud about it on a stream.
Yeah, you're always going to be, hey, listen, when they need a girl to pick on, you'll be it.
I mean, I just
I've seen it, like hellbent. I've seen the way they treat you, and I've seen you kind of acting like them too. So I mean, they're going to probably do something. If you piss them off, they're going to do something really nasty. You're not hanging around like these guys are like, I don't know, hair's off of Kiwi farmers. You know.
I mean, I just don't take any of that stuff seriously.
Well,
to be
if
honest.
it doesn't bother you, then fine. I prefer you're a grown-ass woman, but don't expect anything different. Look, a lot of the stuff with Chud and stuff is common sense. You do this stuff enough, it's like, all right, yeah, I don't have photograph proof that he fucking colluded with somebody. I don't have photograph proof or audio proof or video proof that he did this, but if you do this enough, yeah, I don't trust you. I mean, you have to use common sense eventually.
I'm not here to debate you out of your feelings, but I'm also not going to agree with them.
You don't have to. Fair enough.
Mm-hmm.
I'll warn you. I'll warn you the same way I warn Nick. You hang around those guys, something's going to happen to you. And it's not gonna be something you can blow off. How about that? And I would just say, anybody.
Especially because this is for most people, right? This is at least in some way, their business.
Mm-hmm.
No matter how serious they are about YouTube. So I think when you kind of go out of your way to tell another creator to not associate or speak to another creator, so let alone a friend, but let's forget about that. You're kind of going out of your way to potentially, fuck up a business relationship. I think a more ethical approach would be to
if
just
you were to do it like sort of like Blair did,
if
you do it like Blair did, and you got nothing to fucking back it up, no examples, no history, I think you'd be absolutely right. That'd be a really snaky fucking thing to do. I think if you're in this situation where you guys he sits there and contacts me yesterday and tries to come off all fucking nice. I say, no, it's not enough. And he goes public with it. So,
he didn't leak a voice note, did he?
No, I don't care that he played the voice. Here's what happened.
Oh, he didn't.
He said, no, he didn't. He wanted. I don't care that he did. Here's what happened. He sent me the comical, what I like to call the HR department letter. It was totally phony. It was totally inhuman, and not the way he would normally talk to me. So I knew it was fake. Like, that's not the way he's ever talked to me. He's never talked to me in that manner, right? It was just totally fake. I looked at it. And I sent him the audio. I played the audio. You can hear it over, and I played it yesterday. You can play the audio. It's out on the internet and what have you. And then I was going to write, then he asked me, can I use this? And I was going to write, yeah, sure. And I'm like, oh God, I said shifty. I wonder if he's going to use that. And even if he doesn't, somebody else would, right? So I could see how that could be, judged. But then I was going to write no. And I'm like, well, then I look like a total phony, because then You know, I will leak on somebody. There's no fucking out. If you tell somebody one thing and they do another, I'll fucking drop that golden rule in a finger snap. I'm consistent on that. So I decided not to do anything. If I didn't see anything, I didn't respond. I didn't respond to him. I never gave him permission, right? I didn't respond to him, right? And I was thinking, if I wake up the next day and I don't see it all over the place, maybe. I was never going to give him an interview or a debate or anything like that because I've seen him debate before.
Would you allow them to call in?
Yeah, I don't think he's blocked. He's not blocked.
Okay, that's cool. By the way, just
he's never. But
I'm a bit confused on the.
But you didn't let me finish. That's probably why you're confused. But he did exactly what he thought he would do. And he went right to your dementia, you're drunk, you're this, you're that, you're the other thing. So I was right. I was right to fucking blow him off. I was right to fucking warn the other guy. He came to me pretending he was coming to me as a good faith person, which he had no intention of bad faith, and he proved it the next day. So there you go, Hellman.
So just to be clear, I guess, on the timeline of it. So when did you, I guess, sour on Aiden? Was this like yesterday?
No, it was a couple months ago.
Oh, okay. And I guess if you could answer, when did you, I guess, have a conversation with Nick about your feelings about Aiden?
None of your business.
Fair enough, but I thought I might as well ask. Okay, that is my one topic. Bye.
All right. Talk to you later. Bye-bye. All right. If you do it like that, then we're cool. All right. Simpman's kind of an ally.
Simpman came in. Simpman came in next.
All right, but I gotta give. Then it looks like I'm going to my friends and shit, so I'm not gonna go.
Okay.
I'll go Perry
first.
Then
wait. Oh,
okay.
give me a god.
Okay.
He's a Queeman guy. It's a heads up.
Okay,
he's a
heads up.
Guy.
He's a Queeman guy. Okay, all right.
Yeah.
All right. Are you here to debate me about Chud, Perry?
Hello.
Are you here to debate me about Chud?
Yeah.
Okay.
I just wanted to talk.
Just next question. I'll just go through these questions and then we can go ahead. We got a whole rule set. All right. What topic are you gonna pick? You can only take one.
I guess like hypocrisy about you talking about kid stuff.
Okay.
I want to ask why you're like.
All right. Okay. And are you gonna play by the rules?
Pull a what?
Are you going to play by the rules?
The rules, like, yeah, that's about that topic. I mean, I guess.
Yeah, stay on the topic, and if you're a prick, I'll be a prick. If you're nice, I'll be nice. Fair enough?
Yeah, like, right. Geez, yeah.
You gonna be snarky with me? I'll throw you out right now.
Well, no, I'm not. I just thought it was like kind of obvious, but yeah, I'll say yes out loud. I mean, if.
Yeah. All right, go ahead. Go with hypocrisy. Go with your argument.
Yeah, so I don't know. It does kind of seem like you're going after like Chud's kids, even though your daughter had to leave your house at 17 because you and your ex-wife are such losers.
That's an argument. First of all, no, she didn't have to leave. She didn't leave at 17. I got divorced in 2010.
The 17-year-old, they like left home.
Can you explain? Can you explain how I went after her kids individually?
How he went after his kids? Well, it's just you like brought them up, and it's just like really weird that you do that.
I brought them up. He brought off my. All right, he brought off my wife. Fair play.
He brought up your wife.
Yeah, ahead of time.
You bring up your wife. Time.
Well, that's so he brought it. He's brought up his kids before, so I guess we could play that game to no end. See, that's the thing. You can't see. This is my problem with Chud. It's a double standard. If I reveal something, hold on a second. I'll let you talk. I promise. If I reveal something, then that's game. But if he reveals something, then it's no, that's off base. I'm not accepting that. We're playing by the same game.
Right, but it's not. He's not going off. You say the same things about your wife, whereas you're just deciding.
I am no, but see, no. This is I've said this before. I wasn't saying anything about my wife. I was responding to either a chat or the Keemstar meme that I was mooching off my wife. When I said that, and he was, well, I'm not done. When I said that, I was making a joke. He knew it, and he sat there and said, "Oh, Tommy, you're sharing too much." That's phony, bro. So he pretended that I was revealing something when I was just doing some self-deprecating humor.
All right. Well, I mean,
so anything's
Chud's
game.
always like Chud's anything that he says is genuine. You think he's like is going after you completely? I don't know. I mean, just some people they can read that. I've seen a lot of people react to what you're saying and be like, "Oh, I see. Yeah, he's like Tommy's okay with like mocking his wife." And so Chud probably he might.
I didn't mock my wife. I didn't mock. I didn't even mock myself. If I didn't mock myself, he disingenuously took a self-deprecating comment and said, "Oh my God, you're revealing too much." That's fucking fake as fuck, bro. And you know what? You don't talk about people that way and expect to be friends with them. By the way, do you know who the guys that normally talk about me that way? Enemies. Keemstar, the alt-right Medica crowd, and him. And he's like supposedly my bro. No, I have more self-respect than that. Yeah, bridge burned.
Right. Was this like part of the bridge burning that happened when Chud was shit talking about Fortnite, or was there like?
I don't remember the Fortnite stuff. All I remember about the Fortnite stuff is I had a pretty good time, but I did feel weird about some of the soldier stuff. But he can't remember it, neither can I.
Because it seems like you're saying that like Chud isn't being, he's like being too harsh for you the way you wouldn't expect a friend to be. So all right.
Not too harsh. He was just straight up phony. I mean, just the fact that he said that I was revealing something, and when I was clearly saying, this is my exact words. So if I get a job, you can't say I'm mooching off my wife anymore. And I'm addressing either a comment or just the meme that's been around forever. I mean, fucking Keemstar's accusing me of that. Medica's accused me of that. All these people, it's not true. It's also a real insult to my wife. And I got to sit there. But she's carrying around a loser. So she's basically insulted her too. And I got to listen. Is that guy your friend? So hey, all's fair now, huh? I mean, he shared his kids. I mean, by the way, I think that's a stupid fucking rule, by the way. But I think he conveniently used that so he could justify doing the same thing he's bitching about me doing.
You think it's like a stupid rule to not go after kids? Is that the stupid rule?
No, see, now you're being bad faith. That's not what I said.
Well, no,
that's not what I said. It is a stupid rule to go after children. I get it. I didn't go after his kids. I brought them up. I said, they're not around. You're sitting around lonely.
Right. Wait, so is it, it's a stupid rule
This
to go?
This is getting circular.
No, I'm just
I
sorry.
think
I
made myself very clear here.
All right, look, man, I'm a bit ESL. I apologize.
You have what? I'm sorry.
I just want to.
You okay?
It's because I'm just because I English C is my first language.
Okay, fair enough. I speak a second language too.
But
if you're gonna look out of nowhere, I make a joke about myself. That's not true. Obviously not true. He says, "Oh my God, Tommy, you're oversharing," and uses that as an opportunity to fucking go, and then turns around and says, "Oh, well, you brought it up, so that's game." Oh no, that's not your friend. I'm sorry, that's not your buddy. That's not somebody I want to fucking. I have more self-respect myself, and that's why I stopped going on the show and all that other stuff.
Close friends would you say you do have? How many close friends would you say you do have?
Plenty. More than I want.
More than you want?
Yes.
But not in real life.
Of course I do.
But you don't speak German. How could you have real life friends?
I live in a cosmopolitan area and I speak some German.
Oh.
I also live near American military base. It's an American neighborhood.
Tommy, I think you're right. I think people are too harsh on you. I mean, it does kind of seem like just
Auf Wiedersehen,
more you explain it.
Auf Wiedersehen, mein Freund. I think you made your point. Take it there. Bye-bye. Oh, I can't wait to take Lumpy Mood. I think that guy was German. He probably lives in a fucking village, if I had to guess. Lumpy Willie, you got 3 questions before we start.
Yeah, I heard you wanted to talk to me.
No, not at all.
Well, here I am.
No. Well, no. I'll ask you. Do you want me to debate me on Chud? Yes or no?
Yeah, because you made some pretty idiotic.
All right. Pick the. If you're gonna do that, I'm gonna throw you out. Pick a single topic.
Well, I mean, okay, the President Sunday stuff.
Okay, fair enough. President Sunday stuff. And do you agree with the play by the rules?
Yeah, sure, whatever.
Go ahead.
Okay. Anyway, so I just wanted clarification. So, do you think Chud had an insight into what President Sunday was doing and what Becca was doing?
I have no idea. I said it yesterday.
Okay, you have no idea, but that is your assumption that when he was telling Tom.
I think yeah, I do. I think that's probably.
You do realize when those videos came out, Chud was on vacation that whole time, right?
Yeah, I know, but he was aware of the video. He was aware of the video coming out.
And he was not aware of the video coming out. What he was aware of was the stuff that was coming out with Pixie. That's what was coming out.
Well, why would that make a difference? Why would that make a difference? Whether it was the video or the stuff that's coming out in Pixie, it still puts Tom in a bad spot.
He's telling Tom, hey, this stuff might go public, so, you should go away. You should distance yourself. And even Tom,
he cornered him in that fucking stream after they
realize
after they all agreed not to talk about Destiny. Nick slipped up, and the opportunist Chud put fucking Tom against the wall. That's sus to me.
So are you also going to go after Augie for egging Chud on?
What? No.
Are you okay? Because Augie in that same stream was literally egging Chud on to do it. Because when Chud brought
I
that
don't
up,
think Augie had just come back. I don't think he knew everything that was going on at that point. So no.
He knew everything that was going on at that point.
How do you know?
I'm pretty sure it was well known that a lot of them knew what was going on.
He doesn't stream like he even used to.
Because
he doesn't his finger on the ground.
That doesn't mean he's not in the community. What are you talking about?
Well, look like this. Look at it like this, Lumpy Wooly. I think that's sus as fuck. You have every right to disagree with me and think I'm wrong, but I think it's sus as fuck.
So you think it's wrong to press people publicly about their sweeping for somebody who has?
I think if you know what's coming, if you know what's coming out, and then somebody sent me a video yesterday that he moved away from it. No, I don't think it, but I don't think it was done in good faith. I don't believe that. I don't believe Chud. I mean, he spent the last 2 days saying that I was defending Bobax's privacy. Enough reason alone never to talk to him again. I never said that.
Well,
once.
I mean, it kind of did seem like that.
But
yeah,
it did. But that's the problem.
I want to go back to the
that's
Sunday
the problem.
stuff.
That's the problem. I'll let you go. I'll let you go back. I promise. Right? That's the problem. It didn't. It seems like that when I clearly state it's not. It still seems like that. So that's more dishonesty. But go back to the Sunday stuff.
It's not really. I mean, if you keep wording it in a certain way and people take
well,
it,
no,
they
can take it out. When I sit there and say that Bobax has absolutely nothing to do. No, I swept the subject. I broke the rules in fairness, by the way. So I'll give you a chance to break the rules. No, if I specifically say this has nothing to do with him, somebody gave your word and you didn't keep it, and I think that's sus. That's it. And then you constantly have to make excuses about Bobax's privacy. Then I start to think, oh, you're doing that on purpose. You're deliberately being dishonest. You're deliberately being But go back.
I actually want to go. Well, hold up. I actually want to go to the Bobax stuff real quick since you brought it.
I did. I brought it up. Fair enough. Okay. Normally,
you were saying.
Hold on, Lumpy Willie. I'm not going to allow that again. It's because I broke the rule that I'm going to let him do that. I'm telling the chat that, not you. But go ahead.
So for the Chud knowing the Bobax leaks, right? You do realize Chud barely found out about that like a month prior to that stream, right? He didn't know at the same time that you did.
What's the difference?
Because you were claiming, oh, he knew about it for 5 months.
Well, I said
he heard about it for 5 months.
No, that's not what I said. I said nothing came out for 6 months and he had no idea what impact this would have.
Yeah, nothing came out about it for 6 months, but
everybody kept their mouth shut. I'm pretty sure Nick told him. Aiden has admitted to told him, and both his replies have been, "So what? Who cares?" And yeah, I didn't know.
Aiden was the only one to tell Chud because Aiden was the one that brought it up to begin with and showed Chud the picture. I know that because around that same time,
wait a minute, he had the picture.
No, he showed it to him in the street. He did the same thing.
Aiden had the picture. That's the first time
I'm hearing. Aiden has the picture. Yes, he showed me the picture. I know.
He showed you the picture. Now I was told that nobody had the picture except Augie and Connor.
I don't have the picture.
Yeah,
Aiden has the picture.
I don't see. I honestly, I don't think the amount of time Chud knew doesn't seem to make a difference to me. They told him not to. That's my whole point. It's not about Bobax's privacy. I don't give a fuck about that guy. It has everything to do. He broke his word. He broke his word.
Hold on. Sorry. Give me 1 second.
Sure. Go ahead. Well, you can't stop the show, Lumpy Willie. Hello? I can't do that.
You said give him a second.
I'll give him a second, but I can't just fucking get dead air. I'm not. This isn't Cleveland here. He's got 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3.
I'll send him a message to let him know.
Lumpy Willie, you here? I'm not. I can't do dead air like this. It's not fair.
Okay, hold up. Sorry, my bad.
Go ahead.
Anyways,
go ahead.
What I was gonna say is around that time too. Well, right after this Bobax stuff came out, a lot of people, the whole reason, from my understanding, from what I've heard from a lot of people, is that it wasn't that it was a privacy thing that they didn't want this to come out. It was mostly the fact that nobody wanted the heat for outing Bobax's sexuality.
No, that's not what I heard. That's not what I heard, but it's irrelevant. It's irrelevant. He didn't keep his word. You're getting this privacy. I don't give a fuck about Bobax. I know Chud has told that and repeated that over and over ago, dishonestly. I don't give a fuck. Do you understand? Do you believe me? Do you not believe me? Even though I've never thrown any support to Bobax? Do you believe me, Lumpy Willie? I don't give a shit. It's about keeping your word.
I think you're being bad faith, but sure.
How do you think it's being bad faith? That means something
to me. Do you know what bad faith means? Bad faith means.
I'm not doing the definition game. We're not doing red herrings. I don't. You can look. You're entitled to believe I'm being bad faith. He didn't keep his word. That's how I feel. I'm not getting in the definition game. I played this game with Weeman. We're not doing it.
Whatever. Okay. Well, you're using that word entirely wrong.
It's a red.
I'm going
herring.
back to the Sunday. Not really. Okay. I'm going back to the Sunday.
Go back to the Sunday. Okay, fair enough.
Okay. So Chud had no idea this was coming out because in that time period where Chud was on vacation, it was 4 days prior to that where Sunday and Beckett started making their videos. You do know that, right? Or do you not know that?
What? Oh, I'm not aware, but I haven't accused him of colluding with.
Okay, no, but
I do wonder out loud, and I have every right to say that.
Yeah, you are making accusations.
I'm not saying it's true though. I'm saying I wonder if that's
that doesn't matter.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. If I sit there and say that, yes, it does, because one's saying this happened, and the other one's saying I'm suspicious of this happening.
Okay, that is crazy. No,
well,
you're broadly implying. You were broadly implying.
I have to. No, I am implying it. There's no way, but I have no idea if it happened or not. I have no idea if it happened or not. It would not shock me.
Okay, it wouldn't shock you, but if you actually looked into the situation, you would know that would be not possible because Chud was not on the internet when that happened. Chud was away with his kids on vacation.
You have a fucking phone? I talked to Nick the whole time when I was in Spain when I found out about the Bodax leaks. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?
On the what?
Jesus Christ. Are you going to sit there and tell me in 2024 or 2025 that you can't do this because you're on vacation with your kids? By the way, I was on vacation with my kids when I found about Bobax. And you're seriously going to tell me that there's no way he could have known anything because he was on vacation? In today's day and age?
What Chud was referencing in that, and when he was warning Tom, was also not about the Sunday stuff. That was prior to the Sunday stuff. The Sunday stuff happened 4 days prior to that. Chud was talking about what was coming out already, what already came out on the farms. You do know that, right? Because it was.
I don't even know. Now I'm totally confused because the
Pixie stuff came out a month prior on the farms. That is what Chud. Yes, Pee-wee Farms.
The videos and everything?
Yes. That is why Chud was warning Tom, hey, this stuff just came out on Kiwi Farms. The only reason
if you go back to that video, he's putting him on the fence. It's not. I think that's bad faith because you're acting like it's a warning and it looks like he's putting him on defense.
But no, obviously Chud gave him the warning prior to that, and then in public, because they're still sweeping, but he's making references to the Melina stuff, which Melina was already.
I don't buy that at all. I don't buy that at all. I think Chud saw his opportunity once Nick fucking broke the rule. I mean, you could think something different. You could disagree with me, but I don't think so. It looked targeted to me. It looks like he wanted to put him in a bad spot, considering the way he's treated me, considering the way he's treated Willie.
How would that put him in a bad spot if he's already
because it makes him look like us, so he can turn around and call him a sweeper a day later. Let's not be stupid.
So prior to that, okay. So no, because that wasn't your argument. Your whole argument was that he wanted Tom to get backlash from the DGG community for calling out Destiny and for tipping Destiny off to all this stuff already coming out.
DGG, yes, I didn't. I mean guys like you that were calling me. No, I don't. I mean guys like you that were going to call him a sweeper. DGG would fucking know. Why would they turn on him? He would be defending them. Doesn't make any sense. They
were going to turn on him for turning on Destiny because that's how Destiny's community is. If you go against them, they will turn on you. Tom was already prior to that coming out against Destiny and saying that he wanted to.
They would also, once the Sunday video got turned on him for sweeping for Destiny. And that's the position I'm saying Chud put him in.
Which is why when the original stuff, when all of the stuff came out on the farms is what Chud told Tom, hey, this stuff is most likely going to get out eventually because nobody was talking about it because nobody wanted to out any of these people.
I can't believe it. I would have fucking outed it if I had known about it. I just heard there was stuff out there. I had no idea that was on the farms. But I got to be honest with you. Your argument doesn't make any sense because the video is going to make it happen. And I'm not saying that DGD is going to turn on.
The video came out months.
Let me make this clear. I was not fucking insinuating that it put Tom in a bad spot for DGG. I'm talking it put Chud, Tom in a bad spot for the Queemans of the world, the Chuds of the world, the people that would accuse him for sweeping for DGG. I don't know where you got that from.
You do realize everybody was already accusing Tom of sweeping. Because
yes, I understand, and you know what? I exactly, and that's why I think he put him in that spot. Exactly.
People already thought
but
that before
that's going
he even got confronted on the stream.
That's going to be Lumpy Willie. That's going to have a much bigger impact once the big video comes out.
So when the big video comes out, like a month later, right? How is Chud putting him in a bad position?
Well, a month later, it was like 2 weeks.
Yes, it was.
It was like 2 weeks. That was a New Year's stream, right?
It was a New Year's stream, yeah.
All right, when does President Sunday's video come up? A month later? It was like the 15th, I think, at the most. President Sunday. I mean, this is really fucking. I don't think this really hurts your debate or anything, but I think that was. Let's see. 3 months ago.
January 20th. So at the end of the month.
So it's 20th.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm sorry if he knows it's coming down the pipe. Hey, listen, I'll give you this, Lumpy Willie. You're a lot more fair to me in person than you are. I'm sorry.
You actually don't need to
that
interact.
That is
with
enough for me. You can disagree with me. And you can think I'm nuts.
Okay, I entirely think that you are just pushing this. I don't understand how this video, which was made 4 days prior to the release date. What was it? So the 16th. How does Chud know about this months beforehand?
I don't know.
President,
look. Beckett's on record says he knows about the. Beckett's on record saying he knows Chud the video's coming out, but Beckett's not on record saying he does not know if Chud knew the context. So now there's some conflict here.
Wait, no. Because the only reason President Sunday made the video was because of something that happened 4 days prior. I forgot exactly what it was, but it was that incident that President Sunday said, you know what, I'm going to make this video now. Because it was already starting to, everybody was already starting to know that that was Pixie.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Oh, I see. There's no way, no possible way you can know because that's
there's literally absolutely no way.
Okay. Oh, I will say, I still like to see their communications. I would love to see their communications. Why? I would because I could see something going on there. Here's another thing. It doesn't change the fact that I think he put him in a bad spot. I still think he's put him in a bad spot for the people that would be accusing him of sweeping for Destiny. Yes, I do. You don't have to disagree. You can totally disagree with me, but I still think he's put in a bad spot. Now, I'm assuming what you're telling me is true, but I have been told, Beckett's on the record saying he knew the video would come out. Now, did he know back then? No. I will concede on that to you. Is that fair? I'll take your word for it that he knew the video coming out, but I still think
no. Beckett knew the video was coming out, but Beckett knew also 4 days prior to that because they both made their videos at the exact same time.
He said Chud knew it was coming out, and I don't know the timeline. In fairness to you, he said Chud knew about it. Now he did not. He explicitly said, "I don't know if he knew the context of it. I knew the context of it, which is why I called Nick." So yeah, I got to be honest with you. I mean, you're saying this stuff. This is the first time I'm hearing this Kiwi Farms. You're saying he knows all stuff. They know the tidal wave's coming. I mean, Beckett told me like one of the reasons he contacted Nick is because he knew how your side of the community would react to it. It's not really hard to believe
my
that
side
Chud.
What are you?
Well, or fucking Chud's community, or the people that call us the anti-TGGs. Call it whatever you want. I mean, we don't have to get fucking split hairs here over the committee. Let's make it really simple, really practical. The people that would be calling Tom a sweeper, his enemies, giving them ammo.
How is that? How is saying, "Oh, you're a sweep"? I feel like you're putting way too much emphasis on that word because it's really not. It's really not that big of a deal. Obviously,
you think so? You think so? I don't. I don't.
Pretty sure
I think
everybody
they all agreed to it. They all agreed to it, and then he cuts it on Tom. And then Tom never shows up again. I guess we both have dementia. Huh?
I'm just at a loss for words. I'm gonna be real. It's just crazy. I'm pretty sure Tom just didn't enjoy streaming because he just didn't have the time for it. I'm pretty sure he came out and said that.
Yeah.
He came out and said he just didn't have time to stream.
I came out because I don't know. I'm sure he's gonna come out. I'm coming out because I think fucking Chud Logic is a complete fucking snake. Peace, bitches. Then he would have got what I got. Are you kidding me? He's not an idiot. I mean, come on. Look what happened a couple days. Let's not pretend that didn't happen. If anybody does that, this is what happens. Do you think I didn't know what was going to happen?
I'm sorry. I'm just.
You're lost for words for what? What for what? Like, I mean,
I just don't understand. I just don't understand what you're trying to say. I just don't understand.
Are you gaslighting me? Because he wouldn't come out.
No, I'm serious.
Tom is not going to come out and throw Chud on the bus. It's not fucking good money. It's not good business. Do you understand that? Do you understand what I just said?
Okay, so if he's not going to throw if he's not going to throw Chud under the bus, why wouldn't he just throw Destiny under the bus?
What? I'm pretty sure he did. I mean, I've sent video that he said he was moving away from them, and I think when he interviewed
What's-Her-Face, but that was prior to him quitting.
What?
That was prior to him quitting.
Yeah, that's like, the thing.
Even weeks before.
He was always going to move away, but they wanted to see how the whole thing got settled first, and that's something President Sunday accused them of, that they were good.
He was already okay. In that clip, he literally says he wants to distance himself away from Destiny. Period.
Yeah, he says he wants. No, he doesn't. He says DGG in that clip, not Destiny.
DGG is Destiny.
Yo, come on. You could say the
it's
community.
that whole community.
Are you nuts? Are you nuts? There's a community, there's the individual. There's my community, and there's the individual. You could piss off my community without pissing off me. I mean, come on.
Yeah, but the difference is DGG is primarily Destiny. Everybody else is an orbiter of Destiny. By saying I want to leave DGG, that is essentially you saying I want to get away from Destiny.
No, that's not true at all. Because
that's
not true at all.
Completely
because I can sit there.
For DGG.
I can see. I can
yes,
tell.
it
No,
is.
it is, and you're being dishonest because you can say, "Hey, listen, Destiny, I like you, but your community sucks." Come on, let's be real here. You can totally say that. Let's not pretend. Like, he can still have a relationship with Destiny. He can still have a relationship with the community without Destiny. I mean, let's not like say they're one's and the same. And it was tacit, by the way. He tacitly moved away. It was an uncomfortable, bad situation for him that I believe Chud made a lot fucking more difficult and more uncomfortable. And yes, I'm willing to bet on purpose.
So do you have any proof to back that up? That in private. Do you have proof yourself that
I wouldn't say it if I did?
Okay, so you're just going on like insane assumptions.
No, I don't think it's pretty insane. I don't think it's insane. You can think it's insane. You're entitled to think that, but no.
If you don't have proof of that,
what about common sense? You know, the way he treats me, the way he treats Willie, that stunt, the Bobax thing, put that all together. His history, I'm finding out he fights with absolutely every one of his allies, going all the way back to BreadTube. Is that true? I just heard that today. I don't know. Can you back me up on that?
He fights with his allies?
Yeah. Does he get into it with all his friends? I'm asking you. This is not me accusing.
He riffs. I don't know.
No. Fallouts. All his allies. Is that true?
I
know about the only one I know about Star. The only one I know about Star is Star. But does it go all the way back to BreadTube?
I know about one. I don't know. I don't really know the Chud lore.
All right.
I vaguely know the Star.
Fair enough.
I think that was because of Mr. Girl.
Fair enough, Star. Well, Mr. Girl, fuck him. I don't blame him on that one. But I'm sorry. He's got his. And by the way, Kyle, you are not getting in. You've called me a fucking pedophile before. Go fuck off. Ban him for life. So you're not getting your opportunity.
I don't know.
Have we reached an impasse? Do you think I gave you enough time to talk?
Yeah, I guess so.
Right,
I just think you're making crazy assumptions about stuff.
All right, fair enough. We'll have to do Raiders free. All right. Sorry I didn't get the own you wanted to. What's his face? Lifetime ban. Sam, man.
Yep.
They had a lot of time. I'm not taking that fucking guy. That guy is. Some of the shit he even said about Kel was out of line. So fuck him.
Ooh, damn. All right. Well, I got your last debate then.
Oh, you're debating? Are we debating? Are we debating? Because I got to give a few.
Yeah. Beans on toast, people. Trustworthy or not?
Go through the. Let's go through the list. So I got to be, because we're friendly. So I mean, I'm gonna just just to go through the thing. We do have. We have. I wouldn't say a relationship, but we're friendly. So just full transparency.
Yep.
If you think he's gonna sweep for me or go soft, not me. I don't know what he's gonna say, but we do have a background. Okay. Do you want to debate me on Chud?
Okay.
Pick the topic. Pick the topic.
Beans on toast.
Beans on toast.
Yeah, trustworthy people.
It's a bitching and Colossals crazy. All right, so you're joking around. So you don't want to. So what do you want? What do you got?
Listen, I think that this is. I think you just ended this. This is great. I think this is fucking fantastic.
Oh,
I just never.
I didn't end shit.
That was just my thing.
I got news for you. I didn't end shit. I gotta give Lumpy Willie a little bit of credit. I thought he was completely insane with his caps text, and his like not very generous like text over something.
You actually don't need to interact.
He was
with
totally
real
really
people
like, come on, Tommy, I was just kidding around. If it makes you feel any better.
Kettenhaus donated $5. Come on, Tommy. I was just kidding around. If it makes you feel any better, I touch kids too.
I'm sorry, Carl. I'm sorry, Ron.
But yeah, go on.
All right. No, what do you got, man? I want to go to bed. I've been on like 3 hours.
Listen, I just said that, like, I just wanted to say, I think I was also justified in
Glazing you is crazy.
About...
Hold on a second. Glazing you is glazing you. Like, that's the thing. Glazing, sweeping. I'm complimenting you. I thought you were a fucking retard. You're not. All right, you're a retard. Oh my God. You're totally retarded with your all cap shit. Nobody's glazing you. You're fucking retarded, Lumpy Willie. You're a complete dishonest jerk. Is that better? God, you people. You know what? They're all contrarians. Queeman's a contrarian, Lumpy's a contrarian, and they're all contrarians. Completely dishonest fucks. Yes, Lumpy Willie. You're welcome, Lumpy. You're welcome, Lumpy. I thought he was Was Lumpy Willie fair? Jeannie?
Yeah, I'd say so, yeah.
Was I fair to him? Was I fair to him?
Yeah, well, especially with the thing that you broke the rules and then...
Okay, Lumpy Willie, die in a fire. How about that? Get cancer, die in a fire. All right, now you got all the justification you need. All right, there you go.
I do have a quick thing to put in.
Sure.
Ryle is wondering if I can ask you something from him.
Who?
So
No, call in.
Ryle, I can't. But,
no.
Well, he can't call in. He's banned.
No. Oh, he asked if what's his name. All right, go ahead.
Yeah. Yeah. So Perry wants to visit you in Germany. So, but he doesn't know which airport to fly into.
Berlin. Rammstein. Go to Rammstein. See me in Rammstein. Crash on the tarmac. How about that?
I also feel like I was justified on Aiden finally, so I feel good.
No, fuck Aiden. He came out to be such like a phony. Like what if he acted like such a prick to me. Like, hi, I have your best interest in mind. Like, fuck you, Aiden. I know you. You don't talk to me that way. I would have more respect with dude, get your pussy ass in there. Let's fucking get this right. That's the way I would expect to hear fucking from Aiden. Hi, and as soon as I fucking exposed him lying, leaving out context, I didn't attack him. I didn't leave he left out context on the shifty thing. He started like, oh, you fucking dementia-ridden old man. That was hysterical. He could have called him tonight too. All right.
True.
What do you got, Lynn? What do you got, Lynn? You can stay in, man.
I just wondering how you're gonna feel later this year when Blair's gonna return.
Blair's coming back?
Of course she is. We got both.
I'm gonna work with her to op. I'm gonna work with her and talk her to suing Chud. Big op coming.
Yeah. She's not Chud's type. I'm sorry.
All right,
not enough danger bits.
Let's go in there. Doug, you're in the air. On the air.
Hey, I just got one thing to say. It all sucks. And it'd say, Nicholas, stop the swiping! There you go.
Thank you, Doug. I appreciate it. Are we done? Can I go? Let's call Pats. Thanks for staying up at the relay with me. What you call it? God, why is he glazing me?
Don't even know my name.
You know why Lumpy Willie's probably glazing me? Because he's probably afraid they're all gonna fucking dump on him and say, you didn't do it right. He had the balls to call in. They didn't, and they're going to dump on Lumpy Willie. So he's afraid if I compliment him, then it makes him look bad. Fucking jerk.
Thank you.
He's totally fucking good faith. I think he was totally good faith with me, for the most part. Anyway, I think, at least within his consciousness. Nesquik, Obag, Mrexon, B, Blue Jacket, Cody Grill, Final Flash, G-May, Ghost Gaming, Little Manly, Not Your Typical on Panic Bun, Taylor D, Tommy C's Cat, Jeannie, Picklington, Will Dillon. Right. Here's the thing. It does poke. I'll give Lumpy Willie. It does poke a huge hole in my argument if he didn't know. If what's his face Sunday did it on a whim.
Now I got to take Lumpy Willie's word for that. But from what I understand, he knew the video was coming out, but just didn't know the contents of it. And the video was, remember, the intent was to rope Tom, Willie, who didn't even know anything, and Nick. That was the intent of the video until Nick talked to Sunday. And you know what? Beckett fucking took the did it the hard way, I guess. You know? Yeah, Dickers, he's fair. Yeah, guy called me a fuck. You know what he said to me before? I said, you called me a fucking pedophile yesterday. And he's, no, I didn't. I just repeat the allegation. What did he say before? I gotta read this again. This is so funny. This is what he wrote me. After months of not, he goes, I retract my response. Let's see. He said, first of all, I attacked my my apology. You're right. It was all planned. You got. I guess mentioned in the Kinetic Hell stuff. Right.
Yeah.
And then let's see. Oh, did they remove this fucking? Oh no, that's because they blocked.
No, you blocked
because I blocked him because he can't write me anymore.
Nah,
I retract believing Kinetic Hell was lying about a dick pic when she was 14. All right, so yeah, you essentially called me a pedo. Go fuck. You could have called in, Deckers. I would have let you. Aiden or anybody else. You could have. You blew it. Nope. Now you can never come on the server again. So sorry, you're gonna have to go fucking suck their ass and pass their purity test, and you can't come around here anymore. Yeah, you're gonna pass their little purity test. As soon as you fucking walk off the reservation, they're gonna eat you alive. I've seen how Queeman works. I've seen how the rest of them work. If what's his face doesn't make a video exactly to and cover every fucking base that Queeman wants, and it's a bad video, or J-Stock. I've seen that. Won't last. I might be gone, but they will be gone too. See you later. Bye.